What's happening, weirdos? This is London Hughes, who is a hilarious person, comedian, actor, writer, and turns out self-help extraordinaire, because I wasn't expecting this. I met London at a show that we were doing for Adam McKay's, it was like an environmental show. It was super fun. And she was there and she killed it. But I also really, really enjoyed talking to her. And I'm so glad that she came on the podcast and kind of extended that energy and you're about to hear. She's a delight. But also, this is not what I was expecting. Ended up being like a really helpful discussion about self-worth and the difference between like confidence and loving yourself. And I was blown away. This is one of those, like, you know, you're driving on the highway of life and you pull over and you think you're just getting a cheeseburger, but then they have this whole other psych ward there that breaks you down and helps you. So I'm glad you're here. Unexpected and in the most delightful way. Follow her on social. It's The London Hughes. And check out her special on Netflix. It's called To Catch a Dick. Dick is bleeped, but we can say it here because it's a podcast. I'm also on tour. Go to PeteHolmes.com for all of my tour dates. I'm about to be in Vancouver this weekend. I believe that's sold out, which I'm stoked about. And then followed by that, on March 4th, I'll be at Largo. The last Largo was incredible. Brett Goldstein did it. Mo Welch did it. Dana Gould. Always the highlight of my month is my Largo show, and the next one is March 4th. Always means so much when weirdos come out to that. Followed by April 5th is the Largo after that. Atlantic City, New Jersey, Austin, Texas, St. Louis, Missouri, Nashville, Tennessee, Irvine, California, San Jose, California, and Royal Oak, Michigan. All of those are on PeteHolmes.com. If you've seen me in any of those places recently, it is a new hour, and I know I always say this, but I love this new hour so much. So hope to see you out there if you can. PeteHolmes.com for all of your Pete Holmes and Pete Holmesy needs. All right, everybody, I'm so glad you're here. London Hughes, enjoy. Get into it.
Have we started? No.
We can.
Should we start?
I like it.
Okay.
You say you want to welcome everybody to the show.
Wait,
we don't
what?
normally.
No, tell me stuff, because what camera am I on?
Well, that's your
Where am I
close.
looking?
That's your
Hold
close.
on.
That's your two
Hey
shot.
Siri, put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Yeah,
Is that a nails thing?
yeah.
It's a nails thing.
But I'm also very lazy.
It's a lazy nails.
Also, I'm not tech savvy, so to like swipe it and find the button when I could just use my mouth.
Yeah.
I prefer to use my mouth.
See, I Krasinski to that camera.
Yeah.
You Krasinski to that
There
camera.
we go.
Well, I'm so thrilled that you're here.
Thanks for having me.
I so enjoyed meeting you
For 10 seconds.
Well, I feel like it was an impactful 10.
Yeah, it was. You dig me.
I did dig you. Is
Yeah.
that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was very, what I say to my wife is very silly.
What
I
did you
always go,
say?
I go, very taken with her.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'm taken with people.
It happens. People get taken with me.
Yeah, I believe it. You have a certain Kavorka.
What does that mean? I'm learning new words every day.
I think it's Yiddish. I looked at Katie.
Is it Yiddish?
It's from Seinfeld.
Kavorka.
They say that Kramer has a certain Kavorka, which means people are like, is that anything coming up?
Yeah, it's a Latvian curse which causes women to fall in love with
Oh, it's a Latvian curse that causes women to fall in love with you. But so I guess you don't have a Kavorka.
Right. So is there one
You have
for
a
men to
Kavorko.
fall in love with me?
Kavorka.
Kavorko,
Yeah.
Kavorkai,
Kavorkai.
Kavorkis,
Orukai.
Orokai? Kaveltafish is all I know.
Gefilte fish.
There we go.
Yeah.
That. Are you
picking
Jewish?
it? No.
Okay.
Honored. Honored.
Do you know what, yeah? This sounds crazy, but being from the UK,
Yes.
Jewish people aren't really like, if they're there.
I'm so nervous.
No, you shouldn't be.
I'm just
You
kidding.
shouldn't
I'm
be.
just kidding. I'm not nervous.
If they're there, they're not like, we're Jewish. So like the
Yes.
whole time I was friends with people that were Jewish, I just didn't know. I just thought they were white.
Can we start there?
Yeah.
Because you're a black British.
Yes.
And British is is the cake.
Is the cake.
You order the cake
Yes.
based on British.
Yes.
And there might be, there's some blackness
There might be
in
some
here.
black and British.
Or there may be some
There may
Jewish.
be some Jewish British.
But it's a British
cake.
Right?
Yes.
I just watched Bad Sisters. Did you watch that show?
No.
Quite good.
Okay.
There's a young woman who's amazing, and she's an Asian, like East Asian.
Mm-hmm.
Is that East Asian? She I don't know where she's from. I think she might be Korean or maybe something like that. And then something like that. I'm already in trouble. Is it worth it?
White
Is
man
this topic
digging
worth
in a
it?
hole.
Yeah, but you try.
It.
You do it.
Oh, what?
Black
Tell
woman.
me to. Let me do it.
Go ahead.
What should I talk about?
What kind
Jewish
of Asian
people? Let's go.
What kind of Asian person?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't know what flavor whites all the whites are.
You know what? I don't know what flavor whites all the whites are.
No one knows what flavor the whites are.
This is why I actually want to ask you as a white man.
Okay.
So
if you think we're not going to come back to Black British being the British cake, that's a big topic.
That's a big topic, but I want to know.
She's Irish, so she's an Irish cake. It's
Right.
funny that like that.
But
There's some things that are so big, you go, that's an Irish.
Yeah, but
Go
with
on.
the Brits and the Irish, we've got, there's history there.
Potato famine.
Yes.
Yeah,
So you can't,
which is not a joke, by the
It's
way.
not.
People were starving
Yeah.
to death.
Britain is
Shout
terrible.
out to David O'Doherty.
Britain is
anytime I mention the potato
terrible.
famine, I know. Yeah, you've done I don't want to say you've done.
The people of Britain
Yep.
have done a lot.
They sure have.
I'm
They
actually
were kind of like a
Wait, I wanna
modern
go back.
Rome.
We've gone on so many tangents. Wait,
They go in.
Pete,
Why do they take tea in Uganda? Not a good answer.
not a good answer.
It's not a good answer.
Not at all.
Why? Yeah.
Britain is the worst country in the world.
Well, it's very ambitious. It's got a little.
It's not ambitious. It actually delivered, unfortunately, and that's why it's the
you mean
worst.
it delivered on that ambition?
Yeah. I think it did.
Yeah, it sure did.
I'm
When
actually-
you think of India, you think of a British man in one of those khaki hard hats,
The national
like
dish.
killing a tiger just to eat like one of its whiskers.
The national dish of the UK is a curry.
I know.
It's a chicken tikka masala.
I didn't know that, but that's actually a British dish, though.
Exactly.
You knew that.
Yes, we
I'm telling them.
colonized
Yeah, and
India
then took over.
and then took their ingredients and went,
Yeah.
it's too spicy.
Yeah,
and then remixed it and made a lesser spicy
Yes.
meal that we stole.
and that the whites love.
I love chicken tikka masala. I
and you
love chicken tikka masala.
Look, I'm just
Love
saying.
chicken tikka masala.
I'll represent my group and say all of us love chicken tikka masala. It's like a
listen.
sweet. What is it? It's kind of sweet. There's something creamy.
It's a
creamy,
it's a
barely
creamy,
spicy.
sweet, not spicy curry. It's
good.
amazing.
And that's the national dish.
National dish of the UK.
National dish.
We don't actually have anything that's ours because we stole so much from other countries.
Well, what about bangers and mash? I'm not trying to be funny.
Do you know what? I haven't done the research. That might be ours.
It's pretty bad.
But Britain stole everything else. Like tea is not, as you know, tea is stolen.
Yeah.
Everything is stolen.
Yeah.
Fish and chips stolen.
Where'd they steal that from?
I think Scandinavia. Like I don't think that is. Don't quote me, but it's not British.
Scots fired.
Literally, Scots fired. Literally, they were firing bombs.
Well, everything has a horrible history.
Literally.
Yeah.
So
Food.
anyway,
Remember when all we used to fight was spices?
well, this is the thing.
It's like, I got some cinnamon. How
If
many
you were
people
gonna-
died?
If you were going to
3,000.
colonize and kill people for spices,
Yeah.
why didn't you learn how to use them?
Yeah,
That's all I want to know.
London. I don't think this is actually funny, but one time I was stoned and I was crying laughing.
Mm-hmm.
It took me about 15 minutes to get this out. I go, this is my impression of a British guy going to Mexico for the first time, like traveling to Mexico, and he tries salsa and he goes, "Why would you do that?"
That is funny.
You think it's
very
funny?
accurate.
Why would you do that?
100%.
Why you meant to?
100% someone had said
Like
that.
eating
tried that,
salsa.
said that, done that.
What?
Million thousand
Is this a
percent.
weapon?
100%.
I'm sorry for the
We-
accent,
I
but I
don't-
want to
is
do
this
it
a
the whole time.
weapon?
Is this a weapon?
There we go.
Is this a weapon? Are you
good.
daft?
Should I speak like this the whole time and just be American? Should we switch?
That's good.
Thank you so much.
Ah, very good. How do you do it? What do you tell yourself?
I'm like,
I
'cause
say get fancy.
You say get fancy?
No, I don't. But you're
Get
Do
fancy.
you sing it? Do we sing our words? Is that how it
yeah,
sounds to you?
LA, people from LA sing their words. So
Yeah.
it's like, I'm going to the
Yeah.
store.
Yeah. I'm going to the store.
Store.
I'm not sure what happens when you die.
What happens?
What happens?
Yeah,
you're
everything
so
up.
right.
I've started doing that. So every Sunday, I have family FaceTime with my family back in the UK.
Yeah.
Mainly because my dad doesn't want me to have an American accent. So every week he check me, and my sisters, they check me. Because,
What are the words?
Oh my God. So I said, Americans say dues. So we say Jews. We're paying
time?
our dues.
Jews?
Yeah,
We're back to Jews
D-U-E-S.
again. How
yes,
did we
we're
do
back
this?
to Jews. So
How
like,
did
if
we
you're
work
paying
this
your
back?
Jews.
Jews.
Yes, Jews. Jews. We
Yeah.
do the J. That's a J.
Oh,
in
Jews.
Britain.
Jews.
But in America, it's a duh.
Dues.
So they'll be like, we're paying our dues.
Okay, I'll give you one.
Yeah.
What kind of shiny metal foil we putting on our sandwiches?
Aluminium
Aluminium.
instead of aluminum.
Brilliant.
And the thing is, the spelling is different, so that I get that.
Yeah. You still putting the U in some words?
We have extra
Favor.
item U's and jewelry. We spell it different. You
How do you
guys
spell jewelry?
Jewellery.
Okay, that's W-R-O-N-G.
That's obviously not because I speak English. And
Well, I know. Yeah, but
That's-
some of those letters
and
fell
I'm
out
English.
of the boat on the way.
do you know why though?
Why?
Oh, you don't know?
I don't know.
I'm teaching a white man
Yes, please
something.
Britsplain this.
Britsplain
Yeah, but you've already taught me 9
Britsplaining.
things.
Oh, yeah,
so
that is true.
like you're doing quite well. I'm only trying to provoke and keep you going because it's a
Okay.
lot of fun.
I can tell you.
Yeah, please.
It's because of the American printing press. So in New York, in the early days of print
By the
journalism,
way,
media.
if you're York, how do you feel about New York?
I
That's
mean,
just
how
upsetting.
dare?
New England?
How dare you?
New
Oh,
England.
everything's new to you guys
That's-
because you discovered America.
It's quite old, actually.
It's actually
but
old.
It's real old.
It was here before you discovered it.
And then we just
And then you just
really
did what you wanted.
We broke up with England, and then we called it. It's like
New
breaking up with a
England.
woman named Charlotte,
Right.
and then breaking up is a big messy breakup. Then you call her and go, "I got a new girlfriend. Her name is New Charlotte.
New Charlotte.
She's
How
better.
dare you?
She's
Is she
free.
Is she?
She's free.
Is she?
She's free.
Does she have free healthcare?
She's free.
She doesn't.
No.
She doesn't.
No universal.
No.
Do you guys have free healthcare?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
America's the only country
Free
in the Western
dental?
world.
Burn.
Yes. How dare you?
You got great teeth.
Thank
I
you.
checked
Do you
before I
know
did the
what?
riff.
I didn't realize that was a thing until I came here. That Americans think that British people don't have good
I'm
teeth.
sorry, think?
Think with an F.
Oh, your
Think.
dad comes in? Think.
Think. So
Think.
wait, you've
Yeah.
gone on tangents, Pete.
I
What was I trying
know.
to say?
Welcome to the
The
ADD
American
show.
printing press. Basically, they had to pay per letter.
Oh.
So what they discovered is they can just make the same word but take out the letters.
I see.
And that became the way American English is spelt
Is that for like telegrams or for like
for everything. So they were like jewelry. Nah, too many L's.
Okay, the more things change, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we're texting and THRU is in the dictionary.
Yeah,
now.
it
We
is,
got
which
it
is
in.
disgusting.
We pushed it over the
How
line.
dare? It's not in Britain. It
I
is
like-
here though.
Oh, really?
We would not put that in the Oxford English Dictionary. How dare you?
By the
dare
way,
you.
how lucky is Oxford that Oxford just sounds like what Oxford is trying to be?
I mean, yeah, that's true.
Like it matches it.
Yeah, Oxford.
Even the
Cambridge.
shirt. Cambridge too. I learned that in Cambridge.
Cambridge. It does
Cambridge.
sound.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
If Oxford was Manchester,
Not
no
the
dice.
same. Or Birmingham. Not the same.
Nope.
Not the
Goodbye.
same. It's so
Goodbye.
true.
Goodbye.
Very true.
So it was to save bread.
Yeah, to save money.
And what are the other words that your dad checks on?
So my dad makes sure the T's as well. So you guys would say YouTube.
YouTube.
We say YouTube.
YouTube.
TU is a ch. So Tuesday. Monday, Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Tuesday.
That's when we chew our chicken
Tuesday.
tikka masala?
TU is chew. Tube socks. YouTube. Tuesday.
Take the tube.
Take the tube.
Tube?
Tube.
Tube?
Tube.
This sounds like something
No.
like I have a trip coming up and you want me to be a
Tube.
fool.
Yeah, be a fool.
Where's
It's
the tube?
That's if you said where's the tube, they'd be like American. How dare you?
And what's the tude? The chewed.
Tube.
What? No. What's the chewed towards Americans?
The attitude.
yeah.
They hate you guys right now.
Really?
Yeah, especially after Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second time.
Yeah, because we
Trump the
double-dipped.
first time was a laughing stock. Like I remember, because I'm an agent of chaos. I was in the UK and I was like, I'm an agent of chaos. Like I'm like, what if it goes wrong? I'm an agent of chaos. And so I didn't think Trump was going to win, but I was like, oh my God, what if he did?
Yeah.
And me and my family would
By
laugh.
the way, I never even thought about that. That's how ding dong shinglebong I was.
Ding dong shinglebong. You
It's
didn't think he
yeah.
would win?
The first time.
We were like Americans. So Americans are the Florida of the world.
Wow.
I'm being so serious. America is the Florida of the world. I'm being so serious. Like, and I'm not sure America actually knows that they're the Florida. I think they think they're not the Florida.
Just
but
like
they think
Florida doesn't know it's
that
the
they're
Florida. That's the whole. That's what makes you Florida.
Right. America is the Florida of the world.
You can't know.
You can't know you're the Florida.
Well, 1 out of 150,000 Floridians is like, are we the Florida?
We might be the Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah. America is the Florida of the world. So the rest of the world knows America is the Florida of the world. So we are like, of course they'll be stupid enough to elect a reality TV star as president.
Yes.
Like, but then when you guys, did it, we were like, the first time we were like, Florida of the world. But the second time we were like, America has a problem. So now with the Elon Musk stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they hate America.
Really?
When I went back to England for
They don't
Christmas,
just kind of feel bad?
No, they're angry with America.
Because when things get goofy in the UK.
But the thing is, being goofy in the UK doesn't really affect America. America is such a superpower that like everything that America does affects. Yeah, it ripples. It affects the UK.
Yeah.
And so, we're just so disappointed.
So that's why you're mad. It's not just a reality TV show.
No, it's real. Like America, Britain says we have a special relationship with America. Yeah. And that's been the whole thing. And so now we're like, we kind of want a divorce. We don't want to be in a special relationship with you guys because you guys are stupid. That's stupid.
That's another one.
Instead of stupid. There we go. Stupid.
It's funny to argue on how to say stupid.
Stupid, I know.
One of us
stupid
is being stupid.
Yeah, you're being stupid and I'm being stupid.
Never change.
No, thank you.
So, okay, so I go to London. Are they going to be kind of like...
Yeah.
How does that come out?
We're very passive aggressive, so it's not going to come out. Right. No one's going to be in your face and say anything to you. But they'll stupid Americans.
Do you are you a prideful, like, do you have pride for the UK? Do you
I am a proud,
that's what I mean,
Black British woman and a proud Los Angelino. Oh. So I see. I'm both proud for both things for different reasons.
I get it.
Yeah, but I'm very proud.
It's very American to spit America out of your mouth and then in the next sentence be like, and I'm proud.
Yeah, literally. This is what I like about America.
I wasn't joking.
The audacity.
You're
I'm
fitting
kind
in
of into
just
it.
well.
I'm kind of into it.
Yeah.
Also, my personality is not British. I have a very American personality.
That's interesting. I hate this. I think you might be one of the reasons I'm taken is like we want our Brits to be like you because you are like we want our Chinese food to be American Chinese food,
and you want your Brits to be American Brits.
Yeah, and sometimes you go to Britain and you're eating a hard-boiled egg and there's an unborn chicken in it.
Yeah,
and it's a little too Chinese.
Yeah, you don't want this.
Too Chinese food.
No, thank you.
And then they have Kung Pao chicken and you're like, I love Chinese food.
Right.
And that's kind of what you are. You're kind of Kung Pao, and I mean that as a high compliment.
I'm a palatable,
but you're very charismatic,
American
fun.
Brit. Yes, 100%.
But the hard accent.
Yes.
And you're happy to field. I feel like such an idiot.
You should see my TikTok right now because it's Black History Month. So Black Americans are just asking me things. And like, I'm like teaching that. Like today I'm doing a video about Black British history because a lot of Americans don't know anything about BBH. They don't even know that like Black Brits are also the descendants of slaves. Like there's people telling me that my ancestors weren't slaves, which is insane.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. That is underreported.
Yeah.
The idea that Great Britain had slaves from Africa as well.
Well, not as in it had slaves, but Caribbean slavery, which is basically...
Yeah, tell me. So, why'd I even take a guess?
Yeah, so
London.
Basically your ancestors decided...
Your people... man. We were over there.
Your ancestors.
I'm just kidding. I'm also all the bad ones.
Your ancestors decided...
All the bad ones. You know what I mean.
All the bad
ones.
Go ahead. Decided to take slaves from Africa to America. And I think everyone talks about American slavery, but nobody talks about Caribbean slavery. So at the same time, they took slaves from Africa to the Caribbean.
Okay.
The thing about American slavery is it benefited America, as in all the money from slavery went into America, and that's why America is a superpower today. The money from Caribbean slavery went to Great Britain. So literally all my ancestors basically made Great Britain a superpower, but don't get to benefit off of it because they stayed in the Caribbean, which is poor.
Wow.
And so essentially my ancestors were slaves and basically made Europe great. And Black American ancestors are slaves and made America great. So we have more in common.
Yeah.
But I think people don't know that anything about Caribbean slavery.
And then they were folded in. I hate to say they, but the Caribbean slaves were brought into the UK.
No, they stayed in the Caribbean, but then after World War II, the Queen owned all of the
There
Caribbean.
was a Second World War. What if I
Wow.
the amount that I don't know? Staggering.
So,
World War II.
World War II.
They did a reboot.
So after World War II,
Yes.
the Queen owned the Caribbean at this point. She pretty much owned several countries in Africa and all of the Caribbean. And so after World War II, Britain was screwed. Like, it won the war, but economically it was struggling. And the Queen decided to send for her Caribbean people to come over to the UK and rebuild it after World War II. So not only were the Caribbeans the descendants of slaves that helped to make Great Britain great, hundreds of years later, the Queen has the audacity to tell those same people to come to the UK and build it and make it better.
And when you say build it, you mean literally build it.
Literally,
Yeah,
so
literally build it.
my grandma was a nurse and she came over to the UK to work, and she basically made the NHS free. The reason why the NHS is free is because of Caribbean people that came over to work. The national healthcare system exists and is free to this day because of Caribbean people. And then my granddad came over and he rebuilt half of Peckham, South London. The reason why London looks so great is because Caribbean people came over and helped rebuild the roads and rebuild the buildings in the UK. So thanks to Caribbean people, the UK is back to where it was. But they didn't get paid the same.
I was going to say, it wasn't a full slave situation.
No, it wasn't. They got paid, but they got paid a fraction.
It was kind of like a sideways
yes,
looking
and they weren't allowed to
slavery
own
situation.
property.
So it was just slavery under a different kind of name.
And it was basically the reason why, America is where it is today, and is off the back of Black people. And that I think that's something that America tells you, like, lets you know, like, slavery was a thing.
Right.
In the UK, they hide it all. They don't teach us anything about it. They don't tell us in schools.
It's not in the history books?
It's not, no. They're just trying to hide all the stuff they did. They don't want to admit it. So there's people that were walking around in the UK that have no idea of
I don't
this.
remember the episode of The Crown where she's
Right.
like, bring them here.
Yeah, no. So we have a thing called the Windrush. They came over on a boat called the Empire Windrush. And this was the first Caribbeans came over 75 years ago. So this is like recent history.
Wait, it's like one generation of Black British?
Maybe
Like
three.
But
yeah.
75 years ago.
Yeah.
So those people have kids.
Yeah,
when
I'm now born in
you're
Britain.
Third generation, basically.
Well, I'm personally not, because my mum was born in in Jamaica, but she came over to England when she was like 8.
I see.
And my grandma was born in Jamaica, but she came over to England when she was like 18. And then my great grandma just stayed in Jamaica, but my great grandma, I think she would come over. So like literally there's like, it's not like clear cut.
Yeah.
But essentially, Black British people are the descendants of Caribbean slaves and colonization in Africa.
Wow. I really appreciate this.
No
And I
worries.
hope I can hold on to it.
Hold on to it.
I'm going to hold on to
The
it.
thing is, I'm happy to teach it. I'm just so sad that so many people don't know it.
Forget me, because I'm just some
Yeah.
fucking
Can I have
dumbass.
some of this?
Of course, that's for
Wait,
you.
what's this?
That has a little bit of THC in it. Just a wee bit.
I'm going to take this home.
You may.
I'm not going to drink it. What's
Dad
this?
grass. Take the edge off like
What's
a
this?
dad.
Okay, I want this.
Ooh, drink that. That's magic mine. It's a little sweet. It's got a little bit of agave in it.
I love agave.
You on this,
I love agave.
because you're a high processing fast talker like me, you'll love this. And you can take some with you if you want. It's really, really good. Yeah. But it's, we won't do an ad for it. I'm just saying it's great for stand up. Like 15 minutes before I go on stage. You'll love it. Boom, boom, boom. And you can have as much dad grass as you want. That is like,
Thanks.
I'm not a huge weed person, but that's just, it's like a microdose basically.
That's good, because that's the thing about weed
Little.
drinks. My friends, when they come over from the
Forget
UK,
it.
they come over here and they buy weed drinks and they drink the whole bottle.
Of course.
Not reading that
Right.
you're only supposed to have a shot of it.
Well,
so
in their defense,
yeah,
you're
How was
buying
it-
a can of a
Right,
drink.
Exactly.
Every other inebriant
Yes.
is like, drink this can.
Yes.
Weed is like, dose it out.
Don't drink the can.
Do you have a 28 by 28 ice cube tray that you could dose this out in?
Literally.
What?
Yeah, I know.
That is on the weed companies.
Yes, it is.
That's actually Dadgrass's thing. They're not sponsoring this episode or anything, but they're like, weed is too damn strong. So they're making like
Amazing.
weak weed things.
I love this.
Yeah. You'll
Great.
enjoy. You'll enjoy. Where were we? Oh, I was going to say, forget about me, some dumbass. Like, there's millions like me that don't understand this history. What was it like growing up in Britain and having, because there's the trauma.
Mm-hmm. That we didn't know we had because they didn't teach us.
Exactly. And then and I'm talking about any trauma. If it's abuse in a family, what often compounds it and makes it worse is no one will talk about it or acknowledge it.
Yes.
Was that kind of the experience?
Yes, and that's the British experience. So that's what they do. They did the worst things imaginable. Don't want to talk about it. Like,
Yeah.
it's like a family member that, like, you know when you have those like emotionally unavailable family members?
What?
Yeah, you know, and like we're just gonna cover it up. We're not gonna talk
Don't
about
open that
don't
can of
open,
worms.
We're not doing that.
Don't
We don't
open
talk
it.
about why that happened.
And then why
we're just
that
gonna
happens,
pretend it didn't happen.
And then it ends up steering the car.
Yes.
That's what I always want to scream to these people is they're like,
Yes.
I don't want to open that can of worms. I'm like, bitch, that can of worms
is the reason why we're here.
and it's doing everything behind the scenes, and
This
it
is why.
thrilled you're not opening it.
Right. And this is
It's
why I respect
thrilled.
Germany, because Germany opened it. Germany said,
Yes.
yeah, we
Yeah.
did some terrible things.
Yeah.
And there's a word for it in German that means
They have a word
we
for
did
everything.
terrible
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Britain was like, we didn't do, I don't even know.
Yeah,
what
they're
we're
like,
doing. We're not
here's
even
the
a racist.
Kingsman.
Yeah. We're not
Look
even a
at-
racist country. They did a report recently, like last year. And Britain did a report on itself and determined that it's not racist.
What?
Like, yeah, they do. They literally gaslight us all the time. They gaslight Black British people all the time.
And just report to you.
Yeah. We did a report. We're not racist.
And what was your experience?
I think that Britain is, I always say this, it's institutionally racist.
You mean
and
which institutions?
everyone, every institution.
Housing?
Everything.
All of it.
Yeah.
Education?
Everything.
Employment?
Everything.
All of them.
It's just like, it's so part of British history. It's like, it's in the blood. Like, no, people aren't going to, shout at you and call you the N-word in the street. British people don't really do that.
Yeah.
But there are systems in place to keep white
Well,
people
there's a way
on top.
we do things.
Yeah. And so like
dangerous
classism.
language like that.
Like
yeah.
classism. So
Yeah.
at least in America, because of capitalism, you could be Beyonce. You could be Oprah.
Yeah, when you said the Queen brought them over, I was like, Beyonce?
Exactly. That's
Must be
the only
confusing.
queen. That's the only queen you guys reference, Queen Bee. And I get it. I really, you know what?
See,
I get it.
you have two queens.
We have she died.
Well, you have the king, I know.
She's dead now. But
yeah,
the
yeah.
Queen Elizabeth,
Yeah.
she was responsible for some, not her personally, but her
Yeah.
monarchy was responsible for terrible things, but they won't tell you about it. They don't want to
Yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah.
And so I say in America, you can be Beyonce, you can be Oprah.
Because of capitalism.
Because of capitalism. Britain doesn't do capitalism.
Well, our cake is money first.
Yeah, Britain isn't. They
Britain
don't
is
care.
Britain first.
Britain first.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't
It's
give a
like,
damn
you're
how
British.
talented you are.
Yeah.
Do you think there's no black billionaires in the UK?
Well,
There's none.
we have Dre.
Yeah. There's so many.
Oprah.
You're just
I
talking
just
about
found
the
out
famous
Martha
ones.
Stewart. I know Martha Stewart's not black, but she is a woman.
She is a woman.
And she's a
friends
billionaire.
with Snoop Dogg. So,
Yeah.
is she black? I don't know. She might. Yeah. But basically,
I didn't know
essentially,
she was a billionaire.
Britain is a place where there's a ceiling for black people in the UK. And I noticed it really early when it came to entertainment, because I grew up watching American television and black American television, and black people were allowed to be on TV in America. So when I was a kid, the first black woman I saw on TV was American. It was Aunt Viv in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
They did the first Aunt Viv.
Yeah, the first Aunt Viv, Janet Hubert.
Yeah.
And that does something to you as a young girl, because I'm like, I'm black, I'm British, I sound like this, but when I turn on the TV,
Yes.
the black people I see don't sound like this.
They did a joke like that on Extras, on series 2 of Extras, where they go name. I forget how they set it up, but it was
Yeah.
a situation where someone was saying to somebody, they go, name a famous black comedian, and he goes Pryor, Rock, Chappelle, and he goes British, and he
and
goes.
they're like, and that
I didn't get it. You're
that-
helping me understand.
That is the problem.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm in America.
Yeah.
Because when you think of Black British comedy, when you think of
BBC?
British...
Is that
when
what BBC
That's
stands
what it stands for, Black British comedy. When you think of British comedy, you don't think of black people.
No.
You think of Mr. Bean and you think
Yeah.
of, I don't know what you think of, but you think of white men.
Well, yeah.
Whereas when you think of American comedy, yes, you also think of white men, but you think of black men too,
Yeah.
and black women.
Yeah.
And so for me, I want to change that. So I was like, I'll come to America and I'm going to be authentically black British. I'm going to do black British comedy in America. And that way, when you think of British comedy,
Yeah.
black people are in the mix too.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. I
That's
love that.
my remit for coming
Well,
here.
You have one American that's very taken with you.
Yay!
Come
What
on.
is it? What's the word?
Kofas?
Kav-
Kofas?
Kevorkian.
Kevorkian? Oh, Kavorka.
Kavorka.
Kevorkian is very different. That's
What's
being
Kevorkian?
euthanized. Dr. Kevorkian used to
I've
put
heard
people
of that.
down.
Yeah, I was like, what? Kavorka.
Yeah.
We have Kavorka.
Yeah. And then it's funny. I was anticipating that you might say establish yourself, and this is not what I want.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were going to say establish myself in LA and then go back to
Never going
UK,
back.
Never going back.
I'm a proud Los Angelino.
Yeah, I understand.
They're not like us.
They not like us.
They're not like us.
You know, I ran into Kendrick at the Super Bowl,
Did
and
you?
it was such an awkward conversation. He looked
you
at
say
me
it?
and he
Yeah.
goes, "You Drake now." That's
Oh,
what he said.
wow. You are Drake. You are Drake.
He wasn't joking. He was
Yeah.
like, "You're Drake now."
Yeah.
He did say "You Drake."
Do you know what
now."
Drake stands for?
Dirty, racist, arrogant. There's no good words that start with K. What is?
No, it's don't rap against Kendrick ever.
Why did I guess? Don't rap. Can you imagine getting called a pedo
Ah, no.
on the Super Bowl?
No.
And I was there.
Yeah.
Everyone yelled.
I'm so
minor.
happy. It was such an amazing moment for me as a Los Angelino.
Tell me why.
So there's a black British community out here that we've all
Do
left.
you have a bar?
We have a bar. There's several bars. It's not a black British bar. It's a British bar, but black Brits go there. And we watch football games.
Are there
we watch
lotto-
the World Cup
lotto
and
machines?
Euros. No.
Okay.
Well, basically, during the Super Bowl, I went to my friend's house, and my friend is black British, but she lives in LA, and a lot of our friends are black British, and we've all come to LA, and we are all proud of. We love living in LA, and so we were watching it with also black Americans, and we're black Brits, and we all had the same reaction, and it was just like watching it. Not only was the Drake stuff amazing, it was such a love letter to Black America that we were like so amped and so excited. And the bit when he actually did not like us, because we were like, is he going to do it? So the whole, is he going to do it? Like, I loved all that, because I was like, we don't know. And when he did do it, we lost our minds. We were crip walking. We were doing they not like you can't tell me I'm not from Compton. Even though I've never been to Compton.
And you just said Compton.
Compton. I'm from Compton.
Although that's a little Jamaican, Compton.
Compton.
Yeah, that was.
They not like they not like I'm literally from Compton. We were losing when Serena Williams showed up. We lost our minds.
Yeah,
we lost our minds.
Yeah,
because you know the history of that as well.
I know that Drake stalked her or something.
No, so Drake used to date Serena Williams, and I think she dumped him. And then when she got married to Alex Ohanian, who is the co-founder of Reddit, that's her husband, a Caucasian gentleman.
I've seen pictures of that.
Yes, when she got married to him, Drake dissed him in a song and basically called him corny and dissed her and him. And so it was really part of the downfall of Drake, because he kept coming for Black American women. He dissed a lot of Black American heroes and Black American women it's just like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
And so in the lyrics to Not Like Us, Kendrick says, you better not speak on Serena. Serena Williams is from Compton. And Kendrick is from Compton. So Kendrick decided to include her, but also I think Serena got fined at Wimbledon for doing the crip walk. So she celebrated and did the crip walk. I don't know if it's Wimbledon or the US Open, but she celebrated it, did the crip walk and got fined. So Kendrick was like, I'm going to have you crip walking on Drake's grave. And that's what that was.
Wow.
That was her being like, not only you dissed my man, you dissed me, you dissed Compton.
Yeah.
And now look at you. They not like us. They not like we lost our minds.
I'm learning so much.
We lost our minds.
I thought Drake was going to be the secret guest, because at the game, I know, because of controversy.
Oh, you're like, haha, we're all friends all along.
I thought it might be like that.
That would have been nice.
Machine Gun Kelly and Eminem pretending to hate each other.
Yes, that would have been nice.
Yeah. But I think these people really hate each other.
Well, the thing is, Drake has been dropping subliminals at Kendrick in so many songs for a long time now. So I think
it's legit.
It's legit. And Kendrick is a Gemini. And I am a Gemini. And
Oh.
so one thing about Geminis is we're petty. We remember stuff.
Oh.
And we find it hard to let things go. We
I like
hold
that.
grudges.
I like that.
And so I get it.
I like
It's
I'm
pure
like, am I a
Gemini
Gemini?
energy.
I'm like, am I a Gemini?
There's people now that literally I still remember what they did to me, and I mean, I've forgiven them, but
Yeah.
I don't forget. And like, that's a Gemini. And
It's interesting. I've been noticing. Sorry, I'm just.
yeah, cut me off.
I'm not cutting you off.
joking.
Am I?
No.
Are you mad?
Yes.
You mad, bro?
Are you mad, bro?
Well, I want to know why you love LA, so let's put a pin in
Okay.
that. But I also just wanted to
Pin.
join you and say, like, I'm so petty.
Mm-hmm.
All this SNL 50 stuff. I because SNL never wanted me.
Why
which
didn't
is,
they want you?
It's totally fine because there's so many comedians that they probably don't even know about. It's fine.
But wait, did you ever?
I'm talking about when I was young and like audition.
Did you audition for it?
Didn't get an audition.
You didn't actually get an audition.
Tried to.
How do you know they don't want you?
Didn't get an audition. It's
So
fine.
that means they don't want you?
That's well. What are you, a psychiatrist? Because that's brilliant.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
exactly
what
right.
makes you think
but
they
it
don't
was
want you?
enough for me to be like, when I see the SNL 50, I'm like, pfft.
Really?
Yeah, like I'll be a little petty about it.
So is there a part of you that thinks you can't host SNL one day?
I like where you're going because you're trying to remove a negative core belief.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm open to that. I'm hopeful for that.
So then why would you be like, pff,
No, it's more like I wouldn't watch SNL 50 like when it aired because I don't feel invited to the party.
but you haven't been, but that's okay.
What are you doing?
This
You're
is the
doing-
thing,
I feel like
'cause
you're
I do
doing
the
me.
same- like,
you're
I do
doing
the
me to
same
me.
thing.
I love this.
No, I do the same thing, Pete. You're like me.
Well, it's petty. I want to be invited to the party.
But why would you be invited to the party?
No, I mean metaphorically.
But why would you metaphorically be invited to the party?
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, why?
Yeah, right. Well, I guess
Because you auditioned once when you were younger.
wanted to audition.
Huh?
Wanted
So
to
you
audition.
didn't. So what? So you didn't even audition. So if you auditioned and got rejected, I can understand. You didn't even
No,
audition.
I'm trying to show you my Gemini crazy.
You're crazy.
I'm telling you.
You're wild.
I'm telling you.
You're crazy.
That's why I was yes-anding your premise.
Don't love yourself.
I've never been accused of that.
Because if you did,
Yes.
you wouldn't even care. It wouldn't make you feel bad. You
Well,
feel
it
bad because there's a
shows
part
up-
of you that thinks that you're not good enough or they've rejected you when they didn't even reject you. No one's rejected you.
I'll do you one better. I could see a TV show starring two black lesbians, and I'd be like, that should have been me. Like, I
yeah,
have like,
yeah.
I
Oh,
actually
you've
don't
got
think it's
that.
a self-love issue. It's like
No, do you know what it is?
maybe too much love.
You know, you have confidence, but you have low self-worth.
Oh, interesting. I would agree with that.
That's what it is.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Because I'm shocked with all the work that I've done.
Yeah.
How if I lose something or don't get something or
Mm-hmm.
someone says no to me, how that will kind of get incorporated into my fundamental identity.
Which means that your self-worth needs topping up, because if you
Yeah.
had self-worth, a no would be like, okay, I don't care.
And how did you top up your self-worth? I'm fascinated.
So I always said, you'll see. It was always my thing. It would
You'll
be like,
see.
you'll see. You'll see.
Yeah?
You'll see. You'll see. And that was always the thing. So in the UK,
You mean when you were young?
not even
Sure.
young. I'm talking 10 years ago.
Okay.
So I started
When
stand
you
up.
were 11?
I started stand up when I was 19, 20. I'm 35 now. So when I started stand up, I was at university. I was working at TGI Fridays, and I got fired from TGI Fridays. And my friend took me to a comedy club, and they wanted me to go all the time. But
How do you get fired from TJ Fridays?
an American we got a new American boss, and he was very much out with the old, in with the new. So he genuinely was like,
He wanted to turn over the staff?
I genuinely think that he was just like, I'm the new American boss and I'm just going to do what we do. And so I was late 10 minutes and he fired me. And I'd been there over a year and he fired me on the spot.
What?
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, at the time when he fired me, I remember crying and thinking, I wish I could sing, because Lauryn Hill got fired from Foot Locker and became Lauryn Hill. And I wish I could sing or rap. And it's crazy because London Hughes got fired from TGI Fridays and became London Hughes. So let's go.
Cheers it.
Let's go. So I
I'd
haven't
love
had a
to
job
see
ever
Lauryn
since.
Hill in a fucking referee jersey.
I know.
How funny.
I know. But
And
yeah.
also, I love that you were fired for being late and then went right to Lauren, who's famously
for
late.
also being
There's a
late now.
lot
Look
that-
at the circle.
Yeah, there's a full
the
circle
cycle
there.
of life there.
But I'm on the edge of my seat about this topping up your self.
So
what is it?
Self-worth.
Yeah.
So basically, after
You'll see.
After getting fired from TGI Fridays and doing stand-up, I got a lot of rejection. There's a lot of systemic racism in British comedy. I got more no's than yeses. And it was always like, you're crazy. You can't, like, you'll see one day. I'm going to be a star. I had an Edinburgh comedy show called Superstar. It's just nobody's realised it.
Yeah.
And that show was in 2017. And no one came to see the show. Like, I had a 100-seater venue and nobody came. Like,
oh, really?
I think I sold out one day out of the month. Most of the time I was performing to like 12 people.
I feel like Edinburgh is just there. It's like Scotland is so famous in my mind for like old medieval torture.
Yes.
And I feel like Edinburgh is like a remnant of that.
Yes.
It's like, come try and sell out.
Come try.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. It's not fun.
Nobody knows you? Come try.
But I always would say to myself, they'll see. Like, just what?
But London,
it's not you, it's them.
Because this is selfish. I want to dial in what you're about to say to me because I believe you.
You want it.
I want it, but I want to get it just right. So I'm going to tell you, you're talking to another they'll see person. That's the confidence you were talking about.
Right.
Like a very formative memory for me was I was at some Christmas dinner with my weird family and I went in the bathroom and I was like fucking vibrating with they'll see. Like it was a real, I feel like a portal opened.
So where did it go?
No, I still have that.
No, because then why didn't you just go they'll see with SNL?
Well, first of all, I already consider myself to be established. Like they see
you're
him.
not.
You don't think so?
No.
Tell me what you mean.
You're not established.
What do you mean?
Are you a gajillionaire?
You have to have a gajillion now?
Yeah. Are you a gajillionaire?
Gajillionaire?
Are you rich?
I think I see what you're saying. I have to be rich?
Rich.
You want to be rich?
Oh, I want to be like Oprah level.
I love where I am.
You don't though.
I do.
No, you don't.
What are you, nuts?
Because you looked at the SNL thing and went, then you must not if you loved where you were, it wouldn't bother you.
I love what we're talking about. This is helpful. I would consider that to be a part of me and not a super evolved part of me that's like, should have been me.
But why is it not you? Like, why can't SNL call you next week and get you to host?
Well, right now, I'm certainly not a big enough comedian.
But you
for
just
that.
said you've reached the...
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I haven't. So when people say making it isn't real, I heard on another podcast, somebody was like, hey, when do you make it? How do you make it? And the guy was like, there is no making it.
That is true.
And well, it's funny because I was just going to disagree. There is a making it because I feel like I've made it. Here's how I've made it.
Huh.
I can tour around and people come out and see me and I make my living that way, which means there's an aspect of what I do that no one can take away and it's always there and I'm very good at it and it's incredibly fulfilling. Meanwhile, my life, my year is peppered in with these things that just come my way that make it very exciting and interesting.
You just explained the career of an influencer.
You mean an Instagram influencer?
A TikTok influencer.
But I think with one major difference,
What?
I'm very good at what I do.
So are they.
At stand-up?
No, at influencing.
Well, I'm talking about touring and doing stand-up. That is a very fulfilling
There are
thing to do.
influencers on TikTok that tour and do stand-up that aren't
But they
funny.
they don't do well, and that must not be very fulfilling.
No, they do very well.
No, they do well with sales, but I don't think
Yeah.
they do a very good show, and that must not be very fulfilling.
No, they're fulfilled.
I disagree.
They are fulfilled because they don't know they're bad.
Disagree.
They don't know they're
You know
bad.
you're bad.
No, you don't.
You know you're bad.
No, you don't.
You do 20 minutes of stand-up, then you do a meet
But
and greet. You
these
know you're bad.
influencers
They're
don't
not like
do.
us.
They're not like us.
This episode is brought to us by our friends at Ritual Multivitamins. I haven't gone a day without taking, and this is real. This always sounds fake when you listen to a podcast ad, but this is 100% real. Ritual is my ritual. I take their men's multivitamin every morning, along with their Synbiotic Plus, which is their gut health, probiotic, prebiotic, postbiotic, every single day. And as a mostly vegan person, I have a lot of gaps in my diet. And when I go to the doctor, the before and after, I'm just speaking anecdotally, I used to have all these gaps, bam, covered. Because that's what it's for. It's designed with scientific backed processes. That sounds fancy, right? To fill those gaps in your diet. And according to the CDC, men overemphasize the importance of exercise and underemphasize the importance of nutrition. They don't value it, so you got to get Ritual in your life to fill those gaps. I love it. I take it every day. Makes me feel ready to start my day, and I love knowing that I'm also taking care of my gut health, which is like a second brain, basically. 10 key nutrients in 2 delayed release capsules per day, designed to dissolve later in the small intestine, which is so essential. If I am fasting, which I do twice a week, I fast, it breaks down in the small intestine and won't upset your stomach. And it's also the optimal place to absorb nutrients. So many people take multivitamins and you're like, oh, you just pee it out. Ritual is different because of this delayed release. It's also gentle on an empty stomach. So Essential for Men is a quality multivitamin from a company you can actually trust. You can get 25% off your first month for a limited time at ritual.com/weird. That's ritual.com/weird for 25% off your first month. We are also brought to us by our friends at Element. For over almost 2 years now, Element has been replacing my morning cup of coffee. And what is it? It's optimum hydration with no BS. It tastes fantastic. Watermelon salt in a big glass of water makes me drink more water, but it also optimizes that water for healthy hydration. I know there are a lot of things out there that say, hey, this will help your water be more watery and get more into your system. Yeah, and they're filled with like 30 grams of sugar. You might as well drink like a giant Mountain Dew. It's ridiculous. Element is here, sweetened with stevia. So it's got like 5 calories maybe, and it's sodium, and it's potassium, and it's magnesium, and you can feel it. It gives you this boost. It ignites my brain, gets me ready to start the day, flooding every cell with the optimum ratios of sodium, potassium, magnesium to make you feel fantastic and jumpstart your day and jumpstart your hydration, avoiding brain fog, fatigue, cramps, muscle tension, all that sort of stuff that water getting into you takes care of. It is such a game changer. They have cans, 16-ounce cans of sparkling electrolyte water, which is incredible. They have the black cherry, which I absolutely love. You can only get in the can form. Definitely try that, or get the packets, which is what I travel with. I always have them in my pockets. And if you fast, it's a great way to make fasting a lot easier. If Element doesn't exceed your expectations, they have a no questions asked refund policy. You don't even have to send it back. And if you use our promo code, you'll get a free sample pack that's a $14 value and try all the flavors. Go to drinklmnt.com/weird. That's drinklmnt.com/weird. Back to the show.
This is the thing. So I used to be like you. I used to be like...
What do you mean?
I used to be like you.
This is fun.
I've since evolved recently. So that's why it's a fun conversation for me.
Tell me.
So the self-worth thing that you have, you were me a year ago. So I didn't realize that I needed self-worth. I didn't realize I didn't have self-worth. And the reason I realized it on a book tour. So I was promoting my book at the LA Times Book Festival, and I was on a panel with 2 other women. One on the left of me was an influencer who had a book, like she was a TikTok influencer called Tinks, and her book was a bestseller. The one on the right of me was also had a best-selling book. My book wasn't best-selling, but I'm a comedian and I'm talented. These 2 people next to me are not in the arts, they're not talented. That's what I thought. And so I was like, well, they're bestsellers because they're viral or whatever on TikTok. But I have talent. What I have is real. What they have, anyone could get. You know, that's how I saw it. And so we're talking on the panel. They were both nice women. And one of the girls was talking about her book called Worthy. And she was talking about self-worth. And she was saying she had confidence, but she didn't realize that without self-worth, you're just in a cycle of shame, because your confidence says, I should be here. I am good enough to be here. But because you don't have self-worth, you go, wait, this person doesn't think I'm good enough to be here. Oh, why don't they think I'm good enough to be here? I'll show them I should be here. But if you had self-worth, you go, I should be here. Oh, this person doesn't think I'm good enough to be here. Okay.
I can see that.
I'll still be here.
Yeah.
And so...
That's certainly part of the dirty factory that keeps me running.
And I would think that, like, it doesn't matter. These influencers, they're not talented. I'm talented and I'll still be here. But influencers, in their minds, they're like, well, I'm doing the Lord's work because I am telling people about self-confidence and worthiness and all these things. And they genuinely believe in what they're doing in the same way I believe in what I'm doing. I'm looking down my nose at them and they're looking down their nose at me. And I mean, we can't compare the two. There's talent and then there's being able to reach people. But they're both important. And I didn't used to think they were.
So you've upgraded your understanding of how popular you want to be and how it's okay to be super popular.
Yeah,
like
but also
Oprah.
It's also okay to accept that, you know, you as a talented person, you know, there's a whole starving artist thing. And I think we hold on to that like, oh yeah, I'm not a millionaire and make all this money, but like, I'm like an artist. I'm the real deal. And you don't get any presents for that. You don't get any presents for being the real deal, you know? Like you said, like, oh, I tour and like, I'm a comedian. And I was like, but what you do, influencers do that aren't funny, but they have a big following. They do the same thing you do. And I think the difference between you and them is you have the ability to be great because of your talent and your work ethic. Whereas influencers and people like that, they have the work ethic, clearly, they don't have the talent. People like you have both. So right now, you're at this level, you're at the same level as an influencer, but you could push yourself and be great if you had self-worth. And
then, okay, I by the way, I'm hearing all of this and I'm enjoying it. There's counterpoints to be made, but...
Yeah, make them.
No. Way more interested in, you seem to have... What did you do to massage your self-worth?
I had to change my self-concept.
Okay.
So I got bullied a lot in school. And so...
Because your name is London and you live in London?
No, because I used to be ugly. And I'm gorgeous now.
Stop it.
I grew into this
to be
phase.
ugly. Stop it.
I grew into this phase.
I can't handle a young woman saying I used to be ugly.
I had eczema, like on my face. And the kids would call me KFC. Because crispy chicken. It looked like crispy chicken.
Because you're younger than I am, and you know Kentucky became crispy.
Well, Kentucky Fried Chicken is crispy.
Oh, I see.
And brown.
Okay.
And my skin was crispy and brown.
There's no way for me to yes and this.
So they would call me crispy chicken. And I
hate it.
I
hate every second of this. Wait, consistently?
Yeah, girls are mean. I went to all girls school and they were like, I remember it being like, I'm so ugly, that's why I'm getting bullied. Maybe I was gorgeous and I was getting bullied because they were jealous. But I got bullied a lot. So my self-concept was, I am the victim. So when things were happening to me,
yes,
I believed in what the people thought of me. So
yes.
So I would believe I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not funny enough. Oh, I didn't get this spot, it's because I'm not this, it's because I'm not that. And so I took that into my career.
Yes.
So when I didn't get certain things, it would be like, oh, it's because of this, it's because of that.
That's very apropos of me and SNL. SNL, the feeling around it is I'm in junior high and there's the cool kids and then there's me.
Yeah.
They called me Biter Shaft because I bite shafts of dicks, I guess.
Oh, wow.
And big breasts.
People are weird.
Yeah.
Kids are weird.
Where do you even get Biter Shaft?
Yeah.
It's I wish I had a punchline one. Where I could, like, KFC is, I hate it.
Yeah.
It's very mean. But Biter Shaft, I have to say, I was called Biter Shaft and then explain it.
Because literally why?
No one knows.
Yeah,
I mean, I knew.
Did they explain it to you when they said it to you?
Well, we had just learned that the shaft of the penis is called the shaft and then biter. And I was like, I guess I bite your
penis. Wow.
I guess.
Your penis or other people's penises?
They never went into it.
Okay. They weren't specific?
Yeah.
Okay.
They would, yeah. But so I had that. I'm just
So your
with you.
self-concept is
Also,
bite a shaft.
But also what I'm hearing, because this is brilliant, victim.
Yeah.
Victim, I'll show you.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, my mother is puffing me up and making me believe
like,
that I'm the greatest thing in the world.
You're the funniest, sweetest, charming, but you're like,
so
no.
I had both
because
flavors.
Bite a shaft, but you didn't listen to your mother, because if you listened to your mother, you wouldn't have had the victim. People that know, like if your mom was like, you're amazing, you're amazing, you're amazing.
Right.
And someone says to you, bite a shaft, you're like, whatever.
Well, if you want to get real weird with it, I got like, you're amazing when you are doing what I want you to do. Yeah. Like holding the family together and that sort of stuff. So it wasn't like dyed in the wool, who I am is okay. It's like this character I can play. That's pretty amazing.
So Pete without comedy is what? Less than?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. When we talk about core negative beliefs, I am worthless is certainly one of them.
So you started doing this to show,
to tap dance and show everybody.
Actually,
Do you relate to this? So you're being KFC'd, and
I'm
you're
being
like,
KFC'd. I'll show you. I'm now a famous stand-up comedian in Britain,
and you developed.
I'm on TV in the UK.
Yeah.
Your children, like I have the girls that bullied me in school. Their children grew up watching me on television.
Yeah.
So literally, the revenge, that the Gemini thing I was telling you about, that is like the sweetest revenge. I remember being bullied and being like, one day you're going to turn on the TV and you're going to see my face, and they'd laugh at me. And I'd be like,
wait,
okay.
You would say that?
Yes. And it happened.
Yeah.
And it happened.
Yeah.
So like that, but that came from a victim mentality. If I weren't bullied, I probably wouldn't have been a stand-up.
No, I understand.
So then I took that into my adult life.
Yes.
But changing your self-concept to, actually, I'm not a victim. They were you should feel sorry for them. They bullied you. Imagine waking up every day and feeling so angry about life that you're picking on a stranger and making them feel bad. I never pick on anybody. I never make anybody feel bad. Actually, they're the victims. Feel sorry for them. Actually, I'm actually blessed. I get to make my living off of being funny. Oh my, wait, people pay me to be funny. I get paid to be funny. I'm amazing. Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm a genius.
Yeah.
Having that self-belief and retraining your brain. Actually, people love me. I make people laugh.
Yeah.
I've turned my trauma into laughter and I make the world a better. Wait, I'm amazing. If we all thought like that, then we wouldn't be falling victim to they didn't pick me. SNL would be like, SNL haven't reached out to me yet. Oh, they will, because I'm amazing.
I like that. I love that. How did you get, so I'm with you, you're reframing it.
Yeah.
How did you get that to soak in? Because we can tell ourselves something.
It is hard, but then the world starts to reflect it. So if you believe it long enough, then you'll see it. So I was looking for, they don't like me, they won't. If you look for it, you'll find it. If you look for reasons why SNL don't think you're a good comedian, you will find them because you're looking for them. But if you
well, it was funny when you were like, they didn't invite me, and it's like, how would they invite you?
Yeah, how would they invite? Like, they don't even.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, like you're being offended. You're sitting here upset with them. They don't
But
even
I'm
know
also
you
telling you that if they did, it would be inappropriate and weird because I'm not even at that level.
But then
So,
so then make it make sense.
Yeah.
They didn't invite you, but if they did, you're not famous enough, huh?
Right.
So basically, you're the victim in every version of this story. Literally, I'm not famous enough, but they didn't invite me. But even if I were, but I'm not. If they did invite me, I'm still not famous. Like, can you see what you're doing?
Yes.
So your self-concept is flawed.
And it's very familiar to that junior high when I was being bullied energy.
Yes.
Meaning it's the poison food that's very comfortable to me to eat.
Yes, and some people love that. Because if your whole life you've seen the world this way, it would be hard for you to retrain your brain to think otherwise because you're kind of comfortable in that.
Well, and it also made me feel safe.
Yeah, it makes you feel safe.
If I know who I am in the world, even if it is a victim or whatever it might be.
At least you're a victim. You're something.
I know what I am.
Yeah. Whereas if you then denounce victimhood, you have to then turn the lens back on you. And you have to realize that you're the reason why some of these things aren't happening because your beliefs are telling you, SNL won't pick me because I'm not good enough.
Right.
When that's not true.
Right.
That's nowhere near true.
Right.
You'd have to retrain your brain to be like, of course I'm good enough and they will pick me. And then they will.
It's interesting. I wonder, when you were talking about your heritage, I realized in my therapy, I just started thinking about my lineage and all this sort of stuff. And it's been giving me...
Do you know yours?
Not really.
Okay.
And it's been giving me comfort even to imagine it.
Okay.
Just to kind of think about past my father's father. That's how far I could go back.
Yeah.
And then it's been giving me, I know it sounds like I'm changing the subject. I promise I'm not. It's like, I've been getting a lot of comfort in just being like, I belong to a line of people and they've all been through every feeling, every experience that I'm having, unworthiness, bullying, feeling weird about my parents. They've all felt that way.
Yeah.
And there's a comfort in just going like, I belong to a thing and I don't have to take it that seriously.
Yeah.
And I wonder if your rich understanding, it seems, of your lineage and your family helps you with this self-worth.
It didn't because I didn't know it. You know, I had to research all of this. I had to realize where I come from. But it does make me realize that, my ancestors had it a lot worse than me. I am literally, my ancestors' dream?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at my life like in times when I might feel a bit peaty, I'm going to say...
Wait, I'm the word for it now?
To feel peat.
Look.
I might be feeling a bit peat.
I love switching the code up.
A bit peaty. You know?
Mean...
I didn't get the audition, so I'm feeling kind of peat. And I didn't get the part, so I'm feeling kind of peat.
Oh
and in that moment of peatness, I have to...
No, I didn't know what I was coming to this morning. And I'm loving it because I really feel seen. So please keep going.
In that moment of peatness, I have to remind myself that my ancestors really did so much for me to get to this level, for me to have the luxury of feeling peat. It's a luxury for
You're
me
right.
to sit here and
Yeah.
go, I didn't get the audition. That is a luxury.
It is.
My ancestors did not care about auditions.
Yeah.
They had other things they had to deal with.
That's right.
So at times like that, it helps me with my self-worth to remind myself that actually I'm doing great.
Yeah.
I'm doing beyond great.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm literally a dream.
Yes. It's funny saying I'm not a big weed guy. One of the things that I do like about weed when I use it, I sound like a narc, but when I use it, I can sometimes clear it out and go like, oh my God, and see my life.
You should.
Yeah.
I
That's
do
one
that.
of the things I like about it.
I feel like when I'm, you know when you have one of those days and you're like, wow, I get to be me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they are really important.
Yeah.
And I think LA especially has those wow, I get to be me moments a lot. Like your life is, I have seen my friends go from 0 to hero. I have a friend that lives in her car, and I have a friend that just bought a house for $6 million and they have the same job. They're both actors.
Oh, wow.
You know?
Yeah,
and it's just like the
and
friend.
sometimes that's just Tiffany Haddish.
That
Sometimes we can just push those stories together.
you can't. Oh,
Yeah.
bless her.
Yeah.
Tiffany's just in her car.
Yeah, she lived in her car.
Literally.
And I'm sure she
now
has several
she's-
$6 million.
Right. And so like when I look at things like that, I go, wow.
Yeah. No, I love that. This is like a blood transfusion for me because I can step into the energy that you're exhibiting here.
Yeah.
But lately, I have been having moments where I'm like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I get to be me." This weekend, in fact.
Yeah?
Yeah. So
See?
I'm just with you.
And this is why it's important to hold space for that and then not be mad at yourself for thinking I'm the victim, because this is what we're just children. We're all just children in adult bodies.
Yeah.
So when you sit and go, I get to be me, have that feeling. Whenever you feel peaty and you're feeling like, oh God, I'm so Pete right now, you have to then tap into, but I get to be Pete.
Yeah.
Pete's amazing.
Grown up Pete.
Grown up
It's
Pete.
funny because that's what so much of my therapy is going, please just look at reality.
Yeah.
I'm just talking to my inner
and
child.
we don't look
Yeah.
at reality.
just go,
I
"Please
do the
just look at
same.
reality."
I do the same.
That's the thing I say to myself the most is I go, we don't live there anymore.
No.
But it's really, really, it can be tricky. That's why I'm asking you, and still, if you have anything else about getting it to sink in, is it just by repetition?
It's just, I live in my mind. So like I would be driving to auditions in London, daydreaming about the life I have now. And like, I'd have no money in my bank account, know that I have no money in my bank account, daydreaming of the time when I have a Netflix special.
Yeah.
And I'm living in America.
And there's a couple different ways to frame that. We could say manifesting and like the secret over here. And then on the other side, you could just say psychologically, like sort of keeping it more in the gray matter of your mind. You hit what you aim for. And like you're saying, you're going to see what
your world will start to reflect it.
Yeah, I'm wondering how.
And that's what happened. So
Yeah.
after I have a book and it's not a bestseller yet, but it will be. And it's called Live My Best Life, Hun. Following Your Dreams is no joke. And it was Barnes & Noble's Comedy Book of the Year in 2023. And that book...
Wasn't that the year that Barnes & Noble's went out of business?
Stop
I'm
talking.
just kidding.
I will slap you.
I'm just kidding.
Honestly,
I'm
stop.
just kidding.
It did so
Oh, that
well.
was the last thing they did before they
It
shut
was
their
the
doors.
last thing they did before everything fell apart. It got burnt down in the LA fires.
Yeah.
No.
It's a very expensive bathroom business.
Yes. Yeah.
Bathroom Starbucks business. I'm JK, by the way. Love a BNN. I have to
Bed
charge
Barnes.
my tests.
Bed Barnes and Beyond? Is
Bed Bums.
Bed Barnes and Beyond?
Bed Barnes and Beyond.
Yeah, that's the new Barnes and Noble bath business.
I like that very much.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what was I saying?
You were saying you have a bestseller.
Okay,
not
I have
yet,
it.
but
I
it's
have-
called
it's-
Follow
yeah.
Your Dreams, hun.
And in that book,
What is it called?
Living My Best Life, Hun, is the main title.
Yeah.
Subtitle, Following Your Dreams is no joke. And it's the story of how I became me.
Yeah.
It started with the bully and everything. And in that book,
I can't believe KFC. I hate it. You should, if you could go back, you just go, extra crispy, bitch.
literally, I
Yeah.
wish I did. I
Yeah.
just cried. I hated
Keep going, though.
confrontation.
Don't let me stop you.
In that book, I remember parts of the book where I was living the time, and at the time of where peakness, I'm feeling down.
I hate that I'm that.
I
Keep
would
going,
go-
though. I need it.
I would
It's my
go-
medicine.
I would go, this will be a great chapter for my autobiography one day.
I just want you to know I'm so like you.
So-
I have the low self-worth.
But then I got a book,
Yeah.
and it literally is.
Yeah.
Like, if these things didn't happen to me...
Dude, I know. I wrote a book too, and it's all about my divorce, and it's reframing and claiming.
You know, so everything you know, you have the
Yes.
answers to all of this.
Yes.
So you know that there's a time in your life where you're feeling down, but even when you were feeling down, you went, this will be a great chapter for
Yes.
my
Yes.
book one day.
And I'm with you. As a child, I was like, this will be on my
I
TV
did
show.
that as a child too.
No, I know. I want you to know
and
that
I'm
we're
doing it as an adult.
Yeah, yeah.
And so this is what you do. You show up and you go, this is terrible right now, but this too shall pass, and I'll probably make money off this because I tell jokes for a living.
Okay, so I have a new joke about my divorce, and I go, I was divorced, and I go, don't feel bad for me. I made an HBO show about it.
Exactly.
Right? That seems like a dumb thing to say. If you don't do it, the joke doesn't work because they
Yeah,
do
but-
feel bad for you.
Yeah, well, To Catch a Dick is literally my Netflix special.
I didn't know what it was just an asterisk, so I didn't know what D asterisk CK. I thought it was maybe a duck.
Maybe a duck. Maybe a duck.
Maybe a deck. I thought maybe
catch
you were
a
a poker
deck?
player.
To catch a deck might be the second one.
Ooh, like a deck on your yacht.
Yeah.
You're
catch a
gonna have
deck.
a yacht, aren't you?
I am. At least you know this.
Yeah, I do know.
Yeah.
Now we know.
Now we know.
And now it's out there.
Now it's out there. I'm gonna have a yacht.
Yeah.
And there are times where I feel Pete, and I think, like currently this month after the LA fires, because everyone said 2025. Like, okay, when I moved to LA,
Los Angeles?
I thought I was cursed because I moved here 2 weeks before a global pandemic. Then after the pandemic, we all know. There was the writer's strike and actor strike, and then there was the LA fires, and so like there's been something unprecedented and bad every year of me living in America.
It is you, isn't it?
And I was like, is it me? Because I literally was like, wait, what is happening?
But how many millions of people came the year you came?
No, it was just me.
Maybe not millions, but
I just remember just feeling sorry for myself because I was like, if I'd have moved to America maybe 5 years earlier, I probably would be more.
And I'm not trying to be funny, but the KFC programming made you
maybe
narrativize it
oh
as...
my God.
Yeah.
And then I had to basically change that, rewire that in my brain to go, in a global pandemic, I released my first Netflix comedy special, despite the fact that the world was on the brink of disaster.
Yeah.
I am so funny that Netflix said, listen,
You're
comedy is going on.
Yeah.
I did my Netflix special. People were wearing masks. We were outside at Universal Studios. Everybody had masks on. And it was 2020, October 2020, I did my special. So despite the fact that America was falling apart, Netflix thought I was that good of a comedian that I still deserved a special in the middle of a global pandemic. That is a positive. But I could only see it as a negative because I'm living through victim mentality. Like, oh, people get to do their Netflix specials in front of like people that are laughing.
I see what I'm listening to. I was going like, what am I listening to? And I was like, someone who did a lot of important work to reframe things.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to choose between two, why not pick the one that serves you?
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right.
It's easier to go, I'm a victim. How, like, poor me. Feel sorry for me.
Yeah.
But instead, if I rephrase it as, I'm so good at my job that I thrived in a global pandemic. People couldn't even leave their houses. I was still making money.
Yeah.
I got paid a fuck ton of money for my Netflix special.
Yeah.
And I got that special in a global pandemic. So if this is what I can do when America is broken, imagine what I can do when America is thriving.
Wow. Thriving?
Thriving.
Thriving?
Thriving.
Thriving?
Thriving.
Your dad would be proud.
Thriving.
We'll be right back. Just kidding. We don't take breaks.
I was like, really? Where are we going? We'll be right back.
I'm loving all of this. It's really nice and unexpected, honestly. I would say if you were breaking me down in a script, you would say, well, Pete's a confident, successful
Of course,
person.
insecure man.
Yeah, but I wouldn't include that.
Yeah.
But it's like opening a window. It's a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it's like opening a window and a real surprise to me to go like, oh, there is like a self-worth thing going on here. And if you stopped me on the street and said, do you have self-worth? I would say
yes.
I would say absolutely.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much of this is very vulnerable.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of my personality is conditioned to appear a certain way as like a social coping strategy.
Yeah, of course. Pretty much all of it, I would say.
Yeah, all
Most
of it,
stand-up
yeah.
comedians, we've morphed into a version of ourselves. Like Beyonce has Sasha Fierce. So Beyonce herself is really shy.
Yeah,
But
and Chris Gaines,
who's Chris Gaines?
Garth Brooks.
Oh,
That was pure
bless.
comedy. That was pure comedy. No one knows Chris Gaines.
Gaines?
Chris Gaines is Garth Brooks' Netflix password, by the way.
Really?
So we can add your special to his queue.
I will do. Let's do that.
G@garthbrooks.com.
I will do.
I'm pretty sure.
I will do that. So basically, Beyonce has Sashafis.
Yes.
And you have Pete.
Yeah, that's right. And I told you that I did feel loved by my family, but when I was a certain way.
Yeah.
And I actually saw the pitfalls of not conforming to what was expected and how you could be discarded.
Yeah.
And I love my brother very much, but he got more of a side eye.
Really?
And I was like, streaks on the china.
Let's go.
Never mattered before.
I'm the star. Love me,
Who
love me, love me.
cares? Yeah, exactly.
Love me. Have you seen Better Man?
Better Man? Though?
Yeah.
The Pearl Jam documentary?
No. The Robbie Williams biopic.
Oh, we don't watch Robbie Williams here.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hear your voice, but we don't even know who Robbie Williams is.
okay.
We have Robin Williams.
No, Robbie.
Yeah, no, sure. I watch Robbie.
You.
Better Man, I'll love it.
It's your film.
By the way, 100% JK Robbie. He's not watching, but maybe he loves London. I'm going to write it down. Is it already out?
Yeah, it's in cinemas, but I think it might become leaving soon because it flopped in America majorly, and it shouldn't have. Because
I understand.
It's a great film, and it's you.
Oh
in
my
film
God,
form.
I'm going to weep.
So it's the one about the monkey.
I know it's about a monkey because this is us. This is everyone in America watching that trailer. Who the fuck is Robbie? It's a monkey?
100%.
Yeah, we hated it.
It's so good.
I believe it.
Every single comedian should
Needs to watch it.
Every single
And
one.
I want to read your book. Would your book?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
Well, I feel like I'm okay. Look, I'm going to apply what we're talking about here. Not only do I get to meet you
Mm-hmm.
and enjoy your special very much, and maybe read your book on the way home. Okay, audiobook.
Yep.
You read it?
Oh, you'll love
read
it. I'm very funny.
I believe it.
Yeah. It's the audiobook is
But
insane.
I get to fucking text you. First of all, come on.
Exactly.
I'm cool enough that I could just be like, give me your number, do my podcast.
And I came.
And you
did you pay
it.
for my Uber? No.
I'll pay for the one home. Where are you going?
I'm gonna put my address on your podcast. Yeah, look at that. You summoned me here.
No, you're right. And this isn't arrogance. I feel like, again, I mentioned I love being Lithuanian, but there can be a dourness to my people. There can be kind of like, I can't speak for Lithuania.
Okay, I was gonna say, I thought you were about to. That's why
I will.
I was like, oh.
But no, my Lithuanian relatives, we can be a little bit.
But
My dad used to say if they smiled, their face would
But
shatter.
that's Europeans in general.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
are.
There's just too much happening in our history.
Yeah.
It's true.
We're just miserable.
I'm really loving this. This is like some good stuff. So your book as well, your book, which is called Get It With It, Bitch.
It's
Time
called
to
Living My
Start
Best
Believing.
Life, hon. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Honestly.
Amazon.
Shut up.
I love it. Your dad would be
Amazon.
proud.
It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, everywhere. That book, right, I wrote the book in 2 months. I decided to
You wrote it in 2 months?
Yeah.
Pass.
And I did.
Just kidding.
How long did it take you to write yours?
The normal amount?
Which is what?
I think about a year.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a shame. They're not like us.
You Drake now.
Yeah, I'm
You're,
Drake.
to
You
me,
Drake.
you Drake
You
now.
Drake.
That's my
You
new
Drake
thing.
now.
You Drake now.
You Drake now.
That's how you say you have beef with somebody.
You Drake now. You Drake now. You Drake now, Pete. You Drake now.
You wrote it in 2 months because you were deeply inspired and worked on it every single day.
Yeah, and I decided I like to set myself goals, and my sister's birthday is February 28th, and I started writing
It's my
it
wife's
January.
birthday.
Aw,
Cute.
love that.
Yeah,
So
need it.
I started writing it January 1st, and I gave myself to my sister's birthday to complete it.
Wow.
And so I
Black
sat.
History Month too. You had all
Literally,
that. You had all that educating
all that
to do.
educating. And honestly, the book fell out of me because I had been writing it mentally my whole career and whole life. So I literally knew where everything was going.
Can I? I have to.
Do it.
I have to tell you this because I know it's going to make you think of one. I did this club in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. It was called Penguins. It was underneath a Mexican restaurant called Gringos, which
Okay.
is a derogatory
Isn't that-
term
yeah,
for white folks.
okay.
Yeah,
that
but
fancy?
it's the whitest restaurant ever. They named it. They don't even know they're calling it. Essentially, Cracker Barrel has the same problem.
Oh, yes. I heard this.
I'm JK.
Should I go to one? No.
Cracker Barrel?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to buy a knick-knack and
What's
then
a
get some
knick-knack?
corn.
Okay.
A knick-knack is what you would call a tchotchke. I
What's a
don't know.
tchotchke?
No, these are all American.
Jesus. Oh, a little key ring.
A little nothing souvenir.
A little bobblehead.
Something you buy.
Okay.
But like folky. It's going to be like a
Folky.
bear and you put a bottle of wine in his arms.
I actually want that.
You do want it.
I'm gonna get.
It's
one.
the gift you get and for a Yankee swap, or as
What?
you call it, a Yank swap.
What?
You know, you ever do a Yankee swap?
No, I don't even say the word. Isn't it offensive?
Not to us. We love it. The Y word?
Yeah.
We love it.
Okay.
We can say it to each other. You can't call me
Yeah,
a
I
Yank.
can't call you a
You
Y
can-
word.
You sure can.
I'm not gonna call you that.
A Yank?
Yeah, nah.
We are the Yankees.
Nah.
Look, it can't be that offensive if
But
there's
it
a
sounds
baseball
offensive
team.
in my accent. I don't even say the N word.
Well, I'm with you on that
Yeah,
one.
I mean, I don't say it.
We laugh because I called someone homie. And you were
Yes.
like, don't you feel like you're appropriating? And do
Yes.
you remember this? I
Yes.
said, I work with Homeboy Industries and everyone there calls everybody homie. And I feel like I've earned it.
Yes, and I was like, wow, you basically, it's like having a black card, I guess. You could say homie.
That would be, look, everyone should donate to Homeboy Industries. And there should be a
Industries.
tier
Yes.
that if you donate enough,
You can say homie with
can
no
say homie.
white guilt and shame.
I like it.
How old are you?
45.
So you're 10 years older than me. So did you say homies back in the day? Like when you were
No,
younger?
when it was like Beastie Boys and
Yeah.
Vanilla Ice.
Yeah,
No, I wouldn't have said it
But
then.
you say it now.
But it's the same trajectory as brother. I'll call someone brother,
Okay.
which also gets tricky when it's a black person.
Yeah.
But I like it more.
Right.
Maybe
Well, I
not
find it
more.
weird
I
when
said that
black
for a
people
joke.
call white people N-words. Like as in like just to
Look,
reference
I
it to
can't
a person.
That is one of my
No, let's talk
absolute
about the
favorite
N-word.
things
So, like-
in the. No, I love it. I'm fine. But if a black person refers to me as
Yeah.
that tall N word or
Yeah.
something, I'm about it.
I find it so interesting.
And I've said this a million times. A black Southern woman waitress calling me baby, or really any black woman calling me baby.
Hey,
is,
baby. Did
But
it work with me?
you
Not
got
the
a
same.
baby. It's not the
baby.
same.
Hey, baby.
I mean,
we would say babes. All right, babes.
I like babes from
Hey,
a
babes.
Brit.
Yeah,
From a Brit, I want babes.
babes.
About 5 or 6 years ago, I realized I was very careful and deliberate about what I would eat and what I would drink, but I was very careless about what I would put on my body. In my body, careful. On my body, didn't really care. But obviously what you put on your body ends up in your body, and so many health and beauty products are filled with chemicals and toxicity levels that were never intended for human consumption. You know this. You know you shouldn't be shaving with a pressurized blue goo in a can you get at 7-Eleven. Enter Living Libations, a wonderful thing to get for yourself, also an incredible gift idea, and a great way to support the show because Living Libations has lots of stuff, small stuff, big stuff. You can go on, support the show, get yourself a little gum care, gum treatment for your gums like your teeth, or do what we did, which is a complete medicine and beauty cabinet overhaul and replace the random chemical nightmares with things made that are high-end, very, very effective, and made with ingredients that you can pronounce, that are easy to pronounce and understand, oils and extracts, but they also work. Like their exfoliating scrub is the most badass exfoliating scrub I've ever used in my life. Pro tip, use an exfoliant before you shave, everybody, and you will feel so much better. And I use their best shave ever, their Zen Shave, it's called Zen Shave shaving cream. I also use their best skin ever moisturizer. By the way, one point of fact here, I bought their best skin ever moisturizer maybe 2 years ago, still using the same bottle. It lasts and lasts and lasts, and it's in beautiful frosted glass with a wood top. That's what makes it such a great gift. So if you want to treat your body properly and give it healthy, natural alternatives to random chemical nightmares, Living Libations has a premium, natural, and wonderful product to replace those things, and you can do it small, one at a time, or all at once like we did. 15% off by going to livinglibations.com/weird. That's livinglibations.com/weird. We're also brought to us by our friends at Magic Mind. Of course, my desk is covered. Look at all these. It's covered in empty, well, that's some dog hair. Empty Magic Mind bottles and dog hair. Because that's my life. Hanging out with my big boy, Bo, and drinking Magic Mind. I'm here at my desk whenever I want to get dialed in on command. Magic Mind is my secret weapon. It's matcha, so it's got about as much caffeine as half a cup of coffee, but it's from green tea, from matcha. It's got adaptogens, which help you calm down and settle in to what you're trying to do. And it's got nootropics, which help your brain function, concentrate, remember, and create. So it's like Creatorade. Athletes have Gatorade, now we have Magic Mind. It's Creatorade. I love this product so much. People associate me with it now. Sometimes people come up and I'm like, oh, they must be a comedy fan. They just ask me, is Magic Mind the real deal? And I always tell them, absolutely. We didn't just start doing ads for this company. I found them. I found James Bashar, their CEO. I started Magic Mind. Then we started doing ads, just the way we do all our pizza picks. I'm a fan first, and I'm letting you know. If you want to try it, fight off procrastination, brain fog, fatigue, and even some ADD symptoms. It is fantastic. It is not jittery. It is not jolty. It is dialed in. And it also elevates your mood, which is so important. I think our power just went out. Oh well. Good thing I'm recording this on a laptop because I think our power just went out. All right. Go to magicmind.co/weird and use my discount code at checkout WEIRD for a limited 20% off your first order. That's magicmind.co/weird and use promo code WEIRD for 20% off. Back to the show. All right. Here's the story. I do this weekend at Penguins. And this is just to load you into your...
Load me.
I'm sure you're going to have one. I eat shit the whole weekend. Of course I do.
Okay.
It's just rough. It's the early years of stand-up.
Okay.
I used to be so anxious I would wake up at 7 a.m., worried at 7 p.m.
Oh, no.
I can't be late to the show. So I get to the show. I'm opening for Willie Tyler and Lester. Do you remember him?
Yes.
And eating shit. And then at the end of the weekend, it wasn't even that mean, but the owner was there, and I go up to him, and I'm like, oh, I'd love to come back. Mm-hmm. So that's stand-up 101. You eat shit for the weekend and then beg to come back. Something you couldn't pay me to do now. I'm just saying, I was begging to come back, and the guy is eating, and he doesn't even look at me, and he says something dismissive. It's like, call us in a year or something, whatever.
Oh.
I'm driving home. And this is long ago enough that I'm listening to the radio and that song, Someday Things Are Gonna Get
Oh my
You.
God, did you cry? I would have
Bawling.
Yeah.
But London, more important, singing along and fully believing it.
Believing it.
Fully believing. I had a real time, right? I knew you would like this. Tell me what you got. What does that make you think of?
I have
Give me
so
everything.
many
I knew
instances.
it. It's a London Hughes.
I have so many.
I had
of
a
them.
London.
Oh, you had a London. That is definitely a London.
That's a London.
Oh my God.
And I feel like that was another portal moment. I had the Christmas Eve in the bathroom where I really feel like I was reshaping my future.
Yep.
And in that car, I feel like I was reshaping my future.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
How many? I have
you
so
don't-
many.
yeah.
The main one for me, same thing happened. I did a gig in where was it? Because I live in America now.
Brighton?
My mind blanks on like places in the UK.
Slough.
It was, I can't even remember the place, but it was
Trimble.
No, it was very racist. Wherever I went, it was very racist, and I didn't know it was racist. Britain's. Like in America, there's certain places that are racist. It's like, this place is racist. I don't go there. They have guns. They could shoot you. They could kill you. The racism is up front. Britain's racism is behind closed doors.
It's like the culture.
Yeah, it's like the culture.
Yeah.
Britain's racism is behind closed doors.
Yeah.
So there's nowhere in the UK that I'd be too scared to go because there's none. But there's places that I know are more racist than others. So I went and did this gig, and it was in Hull, Hull, Hull.
Hull.
And I went to Hull, and it was a comedy and curry night. But these people were not Indian or Pakistani. They were white. But it was comedy and curry night. And these white people did not have any friends that weren't white. These were the types of working class, not that bright, white people. And so I did this gig.
White, not bright.
White, not bright. And I did this gig, and the host is a white guy. He came on stage. He killed it. And I usually tell how well, as you know, how well you're going to do, but how much the host kills it. And he was doing his easy material and killing it. And so I'm like, I'm going to have the best time because I am a superior comedian. I'm funnier than the host. So this will be great. So I come out on stage thinking, let's just do these jokes. And they just stare at me. And like the whole time they just stare at me. And I remember just thinking, wow, I'm dying. And before this, I'd never died at this level. Like I'd had laughter.
Yeah.
Like that you can expect bigger laughs, but I've had laughter. This was the first time I didn't get laughter. There was no laughs, not even like sympathy laughs. They were just staring at me. So I ended up doing my 20-minute set in 10 minutes. I just like ran through it all. And at this point, I'm just performing for myself because I'm just trying to make myself laugh. And they're just staring at me. And I come off stage and I have a drink at the bar. So I was like, don't let them see you sweat. Don't hide backstage. Like you sit at the bar and you have a drink. So I sat at the bar, had a drink. During the break, a woman came up to me and she was like, you're really funny. And I was like, okay, that's why they didn't laugh. Like, all right. And she was like, no. They didn't laugh because you weren't funny. They didn't laugh because you're black. We just don't really do black people around here. You should have known that. And so
like helpful, but also menacing.
Right.
like kind of not helpful, but guise of helpful.
Yes.
Just so you know.
So in my head, I was like,
Terrible.
wow, that's insane. And so
We just don't do black people.
We just don't really do black people around
But she's
here.
also telling you you're funny. That's a
Right,
really
so it's like I
mixed-
wasn't funny. It wasn't because I wasn't funny.
You are funny.
I am funny. I'm
we
just
just
black.
fundamentally don't like you.
Right.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
I'd rather be funny than not black. So
Rather be funny than not black. Yeah. Has never been said in this studio before. And I'm enjoying it. I'd rather be funny.
So I was like, at least it's because it was
Yes.
because I'm black. I can't help being black, but
Right.
I'm still funny.
Right.
But I was so sad because I'd driven so far to get to this gig and I thought it was going to be a good gig. And I just sat there in my car driving home and it was like dark and the moon was reflecting. And there's this singer called Laura Mvula and she has a song called Sing to the Moon. And it was one of my favorite songs. And I was driving and the moon was really full. And it was just like the first part of the song was like, hey there you sitting in your darkest feelings or something like that. And I was like, oh shit, that's me.
Is this on the radio or you put it on?
It came on the radio. And I was like, oh shit. And she was basically saying like, sing to the moon, your time will come, your star will shine. And I literally started bawling. And I was like, the song is like, sing to the moon. And I was like singing to the moon and singing it and thinking about the fact that like one day I'm gonna look back at this and it's gonna be a moment in my story and I'm down right now, but it won't be like that for long. And one day I'm going to shine and one day I'm going to be seen and one day I'm going to be respected. And I bawled my eyes out all the way home. Like, yeah, I had that. We have that.
Yeah, I
It's
want
a
an
very
inner
real
cut.
thing.
If we get all the footage when all this is over, like when you die, you get all the footage. I'm going to make a super cut of you singing to the moon. And it'll, because it's like the afterlife, it'll be perfect. It'll be tonally perfect.
Oh,
It'll kind of be
beautiful.
like a harmony.
Yeah. Oh.
And I'm going like, someday. And you're like,
Sing to the moon.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's such, both of those songs will go very well together.
They would?
Yes, you need to play,
Walk in the
sing
light
like,
of a beautiful sun.
literally, wait, I just want to, I
we'll
just
get
have
flagged.
to.
Are you gonna play
I
it?
can't do it.
We'll get
It's not
flagged.
real life.
Yeah.
Can't just play it.
I mean, I'd love it.
Sing to the
We'd have to
moon,
edit it
Laura
out,
Mvula.
though.
No, we're not playing it.
Fucking YouTube,
But
man.
you should-
we can disparage
you
YouTube,
should-
though, and we'll
yeah.
still be viable.
Right. But anyway, essentially, I think it's
I
really
love that.
important to have those moments.
Yeah.
I have a song, Don't You Worry About a Thing by Stevie Wonder. John Legend I re-sung it for the Will Smith Hitch soundtrack. So if you watch Hitch, the rom-com with Will Smith, John Legend sings Don't You Worry About a Thing. And I don't know what it is, that song does something to me. And so during the pandemic, when I moved to America and like put my whole career on the line to come to a country, and then it went into a global pandemic, and Netflix said, you were supposed to do your Netflix special in March. We're not sure if you can do it. You're just gonna have to wait here. I would play Don't You Worry About a Thing and just like, be like, you're going to be fine. Don't you worry about a thing. You're going to do a Netflix special. You're going to have a good life. You're going to be fine.
Yeah.
And music really does help. Like
Yes.
I would cry to that song and just be like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. Don't you worry about a thing. I'm good.
Wow.
So,
I love that.
yeah.
I wonder with all of this, because I was like, well, we have to talk about relationships and stuff. That's such a big part of what you talk about. And I don't want to be obvious, so it's a leading question. But do you think all of your power and all of your ambition is part of the, like you joke a lot about why am I single?
Yeah.
Do you think guys don't know what to do with it? That's the leading question. Take it how you want.
If you'd asked me whilst I was writing that special, yes.
That's
it
where
would
I'm
be-
getting
I
that
would think
flavor,
that then.
yes, but not
I would
anymore?
be like, why don't guys see my work? Like, I'm amazing. Why am I single? I should
don't
be
you date
getting
me?
snapped up.
Yeah.
I now have learned that I did not want to be dated.
That's really funny.
And I didn't know that at the time.
You know, I'm not just saying this. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Even watching the special, I'm like, this is a person complaining about not being dated, and I'm like, but they don't really seem
I didn't
like,
know
yeah,
that I didn't want
yeah,
to be dated.
yeah.
I had no idea.
That's like I had a huge problem. I'm going to put it back to you, but with I Love Lucy movie, the one with Nicole Kidman, where she's like, I just want a family. I'm like, bitch, no, you don't.
You don't, though.
No, you don't.
You don't.
You want to rule the world.
Yeah, and I'm the same.
And they tried to frame it that all she wanted was to
a
bake
family.
cookies for her husband. And I was yelling at my television, like, then go do it.
Exactly.
It's like the Bob Dylan line where he goes, people ask me if I'm happy. He's like, anyone can be happy.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to, change the world,
Yeah.
basically. So, okay.
And I genuinely believe that at the time when I was doing all of that, I was doing it, I don't know why, but I think I was repelling men because I didn't want to be dated whilst craving their validation and acceptance to give me what self-worth. I was looking for, like, okay, I don't think I'm hot, but if a guy thinks I'm hot, then I'm hot. Or I don't think I'm worthy of love, but if a guy thinks I'm worthy of love, then I'm worthy.
Right.
Whereas I really am worthy of love and I'm really hot. And I could just
Right.
tell myself that. I could just
Right.
give myself that. I don't need to get it from men. I think me in my 20s was seeing, well, guys treat me like this, which means I am undesirable. So even though I'm like, I think I'm great, I've got a great personality, I'm a great catch, there was a part of me that probably believed she was undesirable, which is why she was allowing herself to date these losers that treated her like this. Because if I believed I was desirable, I wouldn't have dated the foot fetish guy or the guy or all the guys I talk about in that special, was because there was a part of me that believed that I deserved to be treated that way.
Yeah.
So
That's-
I did not want to be dated.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
I'm so single because I know my worth. So when I meet guys that don't treat me the way I'm supposed to be treated, I'm not interested. Whereas the old me would be like, oh, they're not treating me the way, okay, I can win them over. I'll just impress them enough.
Yes.
Be good to them enough.
Yes.
Do everything for them.
I will say one way that being Pete isn't bad. If you met Val, my wife, something got figured out. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, I do value myself and I do respect myself enough to want my relationship to be proper.
Yes.
I am saying that because
Yes.
you're British. But then there was such time, there were so many times in my life where even with friendships, if someone was mean to me, it lit me up.
it made you what?
A victim.
Yeah.
And then I could streaks on the China, never mattered before. And that,
Look what we've learned.
yeah, we've learned a lot. But that pattern got broken in the friend and relationship way. But I think and not that it's all about me, I think everybody's a lot of people are benefiting from this. I'm realizing that there's still some dormant, it's like you slide a tray into the oven and most of it's cooked, but there's some bits on the end that are still
haven't been
raw.
cooked. Yeah,
And I
they're
haven't
still
cooked
raw.
out that victim sort of like,
Because I'm being I'm reclaiming my sexuality into Catch a Dick, because everybody was like, you're talking about things that are dark and deep, but you're making it funny, which means you're reclaiming your power. But the fact that I lived through it and I allowed those things to happen, there's a part of me that probably thought I deserved those things to happen to me. And so, yes, I reclaimed it and made a lot of money from it and I'm the first British female comedian to have a Netflix special. I'm the only British female comedian that has a original Netflix comedy special.
Wow.
And so I won in the end, but essentially, yeah, when I watch it, there's a part of me that goes, oh, that girl she just was seeking validation from men the whole time. And if
Yeah.
she'd have given it to herself.
but that's good that you figured something out.
Yeah.
And I bet you making the special continued the work of figuring out what you figured out.
Well, yeah, so my new special is called To Catch a Bouquet. And it's about whether I'm ready to be a wife. Because I still haven't been proposed to yet. So the whole of To Catch a Dick was, I've just turned 30, I haven't been proposed to, so I'm going to go back through my dick catching history to find out what went wrong. And to Catch a Bouquet is, I'm now 35. I live in America. I've done the career stuff. I've got to a certain milestone. I have a Netflix comedy special. Still nobody has proposed to me. What went wrong? And then through that special, I go through whether I actually am qualified to be a wife. And so there's like a whole remit of what it takes to be a wife. And I go through it and I realize I actually don't want to be proposed to. I'm actually searching for something I don't want.
That's like me with SNL.
Yeah.
I'm not big enough to be asked, and
But,
then not asked.
and
you're
I think, like,
I'm not being proposed to, and I don't want to be.
And I don't want to be proposed to. Like, why aren't they proposing to me? Because you don't want to be proposed to, London.
Yeah.
You don't want.
What does that mean to you, though? I mean, like, there's so many different ways to be married.
Yeah, I think the
right?
conventional way I took it was, well, clearly I'm not good enough. No one sees me as wife material. How dare they not see me as wife material? I'm amazing. I should be
I'll show
proposed
them
to.
how to, yeah.
I'll show them.
Yeah.
But the reality is, you don't show up as someone who wants to be proposed to. So why would they propose to you?
Right.
And so now I know, like, I
Does that
do want to
mean-
get married. I do want to get married one day. So it's like, I need to want that. I'm not sure if I just want it because it's something to have. Like, I want a puppy. I want to get married. Like, is it like that?
Yeah.
Or do I really...
I'd get real serious about that question, by the way.
Or do I really want to commit
Yeah.
to a human being?
Yeah.
In that sense, like, I don't know.
Right.
And I think we go, oh, we'll get married. Like you could just throw it away, but marriage isn't easy.
Yeah. I have friends that got married because they thought they should get married.
Yeah.
More than one. And no, don't do
I
that.
have never lived with a man before.
Oh, right.
So even if I got married now, like, Whoopi Goldberg has a thing like, I haven't been married because I don't want nobody in my house. And like, at some times when I've had guys come over, the next day I'm like, I wish you would leave.
Yeah.
But like, when you're married, you can't do that.
Right.
You have, and I don't even know if that's something I would enjoy.
Having someone there.
I don't know.
You know what's interesting? I tried to do a bit about this. I abandoned it, where I was like, I have some friends who, like, the main feature of their relationship is that they leave them alone.
Oh, wow.
And Val, my wife, is like, oh, it's like bento box. It's like your relationship. And I'm like, my style is PB&J. Like, I'm so enmeshed with my wife.
Yeah.
You almost like, you become one thing.
Well, I would want,
And
I think I would want that, but I don't know. I've never had it.
This isn't advice. I'm just saying, for me, when you meet this person, you know, Val and I dated for a while before we moved in and all that, but like, there was a sense of comfortability.
Yeah.
Meaning, I'm with you when I was dating and there was someone that I wasn't merged with
Right.
in my house.
Yeah.
You're like, could you
Could you leave?
And I'm sure they were like, could you leave?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, in my case, nobody wanted to leave.
Well,
They wanted to move in.
I understand.
They wanted.
Oh, do people fall hard for you?
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah,
I've
taken.
never been
People
dumped.
never been dumped.
Yeah.
I've only been broken up with once, and it was my first wife. She left me, but then I'm also quite proud that I was like never dumped.
Oh, that means,
But I'm also like that. Just means
what does that mean?
in
Right?
my
means we're
case-
a problem, probably.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I used to think that was a flex, and now
It's not
I'm
a
like,
flex.
maybe it's because I'm like insane or something.
Well, this is the thing. You are.
Yeah.
To be a
In your-
comedian,
you have to be
you
broken.
have to be insane.
in a
To
very
want to
specific
get on
way.
stage to strangers.
Yeah.
And
tap
say,
dance.
hey,
Yeah.
you don't know me.
Yeah. You should.
But you should laugh at the things that I'm saying, please.
Yeah.
And if you don't, I'll be upset.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That's a
is-
crazy
The last
thing.
part is what we're working on. Is like, if I do badly, I do feel really bad, and I do feel rejected.
If I don't make strangers laugh, it ruins my day.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's an insane sentence.
Yeah.
It's an insane, like, normal people do not worry about whether strangers laugh at them. Every day, we worry about whether strangers laugh at
Yeah,
us.
but some people worry if strangers will think their pottery is beautiful.
But no, because it's different, because the people that made the pottery, they made the pottery for fun. They did this for themselves.
Yeah.
We are using strangers to validate ourselves.
Yeah.
The pottery was made.
dangerous.
That was the thing that you did.
Well, but then you sell one pot, and it's the popular pot,
yeah,
and now
but
you try to
at
make
least,
that
but
pot
making
again.
the pot was the thing.
Yeah.
We can make a joke, but if nobody laughs,
Yeah.
we don't think it's a good joke.
Yeah.
Whereas if you made a pot and it was shit, you still made a pot.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
That's true.
Nobody bought the pot, but you still made something tangible.
So have you ever gotten close to being proposed to? Did you feel it and then you broke up with them?
No, I've never even gotten anywhere near. My longest
Really?
relationship's been 2.5 years.
Oh, I thought you were going to say months. I was like,
No, 2.5
that's
years,
crazy.
but it was
And
years ago.
No one now?
Since moving to LA,
Yeah.
I've dated some terrible men.
Yeah, I feel
Like really, really terrible men.
How do you meet these men?
There's different ways. Raya, you
Yeah.
know about the app Raya?
You have to be
Raya.
kind of famous.
You don't. You used to have to be famous to be on it. Now they let anybody on there. But you
Okay.
also will see like Ben Affleck's on there.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like the Twitter check mark.
It's just weird.
Wait, you can just date Ben Affleck?
I mean, you could match with him on Raya. That girl did match with him on Raya, and she thought he was not the real him, so unmatched him. And he did a video and posted it and was like, "Hey, Clarissa, it is really me. I'm Ben Affleck. Like it's a thing."
Sorry, you look over and I'm downloading Raya.
Yeah, no, yeah, literally.
I love Ben Affleck.
Ben
I do.
Affleck, and it was
love
really
Benny
me. I'm
Aff.
sorry you unmatched with me. It was really me. Like, yeah. But essentially,
So you're on the apps.
the reason why dating men in LA is terrible is because I believe it's terrible. And so if I believe in something, then I'll look for everything to prove me right. And so I currently believe that I had a belief that I want to date a famous man, but a famous man wouldn't date me until I'm famous. And so I had a belief that
Apparently that's not true with Ben Affleck.
Right. But I had a belief that in order for me to be deemed worthy to a famous man, I myself would have to get to a certain level. And so right now, because I can't date a famous man, I'll take these guys. They'll do for now. So I was dating out of work actors. I was dating out of work comedians. I was dating semi-successful comedians, semi-successful actors, because they gave me the attention. I was like, well, this person has a HBO special. He's an asshole, but he's got a HBO special, and I want to be dating that caliber of man, so I'll just date him. Like, it was terrible. I was dating terrible, terrible men.
Yeah.
This person was in a Geico commercial. He's been on TV. I mean, he's not where he needs to be, but I can help him get there.
This isn't where you are now.
No, I've had to retrain my brain to
was
not
gonna
be
say,
like
this
that.
sounds insane.
This is very recent though.
Yeah.
The last toxic man I dated was beginning of last year. So a year ago, I dated an out of work actor who was hot as fuck. And I genuinely felt that I should help him be better. So I was like, look, you're an out of work actor, but you've got potential. So I'm just going to pour into you and make you great. So I put him in a movie. I was in the process of getting him new management, and he treated me like shit. But because he was hot and he found me attractive and I could see the potential, I overlooked all of that and just decided to pour into him. And he didn't pour into me at all in any way. But I was like, I don't need to be poured into. I'm fine. I'm strong enough for the both of us. I'm going to help build you up, and we'll be a power couple one day. That's what my brain told me.
And did you talk that way with him?
Yeah. And he would be like, yeah, help me. Okay. He would take all my help.
He's just smoking weed out of an apple.
He was a narcissist. He was the worst. And I didn't realize this because I was too busy pouring into him. So now I date men that pour into me as much as I've poured into them. And I haven't found him yet. So I'm single. Until I can find that guy that does that, I'm happily single.
I love it. Because if you were where you were, I'd be worried.
Yeah. I would be worried too. I had a lot of great sex though. Sex was amazing. I had some of the best sex of my life.
An out of work actor?
Out of work actor sex is out of work actor narcissist sex is the best form of sex. Broke sex. Sex with broke men.
You don't want a guy who has a meeting in 30 minutes.
Oh no.
You want a guy that's free the rest of the day.
They got call time so they can't stay in bed and cuddle.
That's right.
Because they gotta leave.
Yep.
Nothing like an unemployed man
that
will stay in bed with you all day and cuddle.
That's right. Smoking weed out of an apple. Dick you down.
Literally.
Has nowhere to be.
Nowhere to be.
And he's got bedhead because he was just in bed.
Right. Listen, I had some of the best sex of my life. So
Respect.
No regrets there. None.
I want to know you when you're 80. Can I please know you when you're 80?
Yes, please.
Because when you have all your stories.
I know.
Can you imagine?
I know.
Because you're this way now.
I know.
Which is a delightful way. Imagine when you're like, have all the wisdom of your whole life.
I can't wait.
Me neither.
I cannot wait.
What's the Oprah vision? You want a talk show?
Yeah, no. So basically, Oprah, when I was 8, I saw a document. I don't even know if it was a documentary, but I saw an Oprah clip.
An Oprah-mentary?
Oprah-mentary. And Oprah said, she said, motherhood is hard. I would never have been Oprah if I was a mother. And I remember watching it and thinking, I'd rather be Oprah than a mother.
This is in your movie. We're pushing in on you.
Literally. And I remember being like, I think I'm going to aspire to Oprah. So then I was like, what did Oprah do? And I was like, okay, she's a billionaire and she's the global icon and she's a black woman from America. If she can do it, I can do it. And so my thing was always to be a black British sensation, like as in globally world famous for being myself, whether it's TV hosting or, because at first I didn't know I was funny. I didn't know I wanted to be a comedian. I didn't know I could be. So I just wanted to be on TV. Then I wanted to be on TV in America. Then I wanted to be in films. Then I wanted to be in American films. So I guess the thing is always the Oprah is the formula, because what she's amassed, what she's done, I want that. And my mum used to, when my mum was pregnant with my brother, she would watch Oprah and Oprah would give her hope. And she would watch the Oprah Winfrey show and she loves Oprah. And so I knew that Oprah was so important to my mum. And so I was like, I want to be that to someone. I want someone in the UK to be like, London Hughes did it, so I could. London Hughes exists, so I can.
Wow.
And so, yeah.
But if you could do it any way.
I guess it's the Oprah because I also don't want kids.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that is, I guess she's the model for me.
She did the talk show. You're not trying to do a talk show.
I mean, I wouldn't say no to a talk show, but
Yeah.
I can do stand-up, I can act, I write, I can dance. There's so many things I can do that I can fall into anything, really.
Yeah.
Currently, right now, I'm focusing on acting. Like I just wrote my first movie, which I'm going to be starring in. And so that, I guess, is one thing. But yeah, stand-up, it plays part into it. I want to tour. I've never toured America. I want to tour America. I want to tour the world doing stand-up. I want to make movies about Black Britishness and Black British women. And yeah, I want to be like considered a staple. Like you've got Chris Rock, Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, London Hughes.
It's interesting we don't have the Black British
They don't have a black.
voice.
There's Whoopi Goldberg. I remember as a kid, I was like, Whoopi Goldberg was a global icon and she didn't even have eyebrows. Like I remember being like, this woman doesn't even have eyebrows. Like she's not conventionally, she's not Halle Berry.
Yeah.
But yet Whoopi Goldberg movies aren't black movies. Like Sister Act isn't a black movie.
Yeah.
You know, like it's
not even considered a crossover movie.
No.
It's just a classic movie.
She's just she kind of transcended race.
Something. Yeah.
In terms of people just loved Whoopi.
Yeah.
And I wanted that. I was like, I don't want to be I have to be a black British woman or a British woman or whatever. It's just like, she is London Hughes.
Yeah.
She is her own thing. Oprah is her own thing. Whoopi is her own thing.
It was Whoopi and it was the two white kids in the class that were like, word.
Yeah, what's up?
We needed them.
Yep.
They carried a lot.
Oh, yeah.
For us. I mean, for us.
I can imagine.
We're watching Lauren. We're watching Whoopi. We're like, where am I?
Where do I see myself?
And there's kind of like an Italian guy with a backwards hat. And he's like, yo, Mrs. C.
Yes.
Mrs. C.
That's
you
your
telling me we
representation.
can rap up there?
Let's go rap, yo.
That's what we needed.
That is your representation.
These are the white people in the crowd going, I don't know.
Oh, I see myself.
There
Well,
I
I
am.
don't have that. Black British representation is so few and far between.
I'll tell you where we see it. Are you ready? You know
Tell
where
me.
it is. You know where it is.
Tell me.
You're an expert.
Tell me.
Love Actually. Colin, you think you can go to America? You hate it.
Love Actually.
Do you know that guy?
Is there black people in Love Actually?
Yeah, actually.
Are there actually black people in Love Actually?
There's black people in Love
I think I've seen
Actually.
it once. America loves Love Actually. Britain doesn't love it
Really?
in the way America loves it.
Well,
It's a massive film here. It's not a massive film in the UK.
That's interesting because it's so aggressively British to
That's
me.
why it's not it's obviously not aggressively British. It's just normal.
It's normal to you.
Yeah.
Right. Totally. But it's
big-
doing good PR for the UK because it seems so quaint.
Yeah, and
nice.
I guess it is, but we're like, okay. Whereas our films that we love, like a big romantic comedy, in the UK are American rom-coms. Like
What,
The Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman, okay.
When Harry Met Sally's. Like,
Paprikash.
yeah, all of those Sleepless
those
in
are great
Seattle's.
movies. Those are great
They're
movies.
massive, but
Yeah.
yeah.
No, Love Actually.
Love Actually is there, but yeah, it's
I'm
not
gonna
like
say,
massive.
with full respect, Love Actually is not good,
Right.
but it is good somehow. But when you're watching it, there's a lot of parts where you're like, this is not good, and yet I can't stop watching it.
So I guess
But there is one black British guy.
that I'm glad, I guess.
Yeah,
I'm happy for the
no,
representation.
I'm
Women,
embarrassed.
though, black British women,
0.
and that's why I'm here. That's,
But Lun Hugh.
I mean,
Lun
and this
Hugh.
is the thing that,
If there's a void, what a thrill.
but you say this, but
There's
it's
no
really hard
voids.
to fill the void because America doesn't view, America's default for blackness are black Americans. So when I audition for roles, they don't want me to be British.
Oh.
Because they're like, I just don't see the character as British because you haven't seen black British people show up.
That's interesting.
So whenever I audition for stuff, if the character has to be American, then fine. But if the character is just the friend and she's black, I'm like, well, she can be black British then.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we just don't really see her as British because their default lens of blackness is black American. So I'm having to
All you need-
fight against that as well.
I just want to plant this in your incredibly powerful, crystal-guided,
Please.
self-generating future machine.
Please.
All you need is a little bit more of a direct line, meaning a casting director, with full respect to casting directors, they might be an impediment to you, going like, we're not seeing this character as British. They didn't say British.
Yeah.
But if the creator, if the EP, the star sees you on this podcast and goes, that's the best friend, that's the girlfriend,
Yes,
that's
she
the-
just happens
that's
to
the
be
star.
British.
And then they go, oh, fuck, entertainment is all surprise. Our whole industry is surprise. But they don't even know this is one way to surprise people.
Yes.
And to me,
Which is
when I met you, I wasn't like, wow, a black British woman. But I was, now that we're shining a light
Yeah.
on it, I'm like, you're right. We don't see that
you
a
don't
lot.
see, and you see it with white British. So you'll watch a white American film,
yes.
and there might be a white British person.
Yeah.
There might be a white British person in the friend group.
Yeah,
there might be
yeah.
a white British
Yeah.
male love interest.
Yeah.
There might be a white British female love interest.
Yes.
But you rarely see a black British love interest or a black British female
Yeah,
love
yeah,
interest in
yeah.
white American films.
yeah.
And so I have to push against that.
And yet, I very easily see a not distant future where you go like, oh, that's weird that you had to push against
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Because the film that I wrote is all about that. It's a romantic comedy.
Oh, fun.
And it's literally about that. And so I wrote a romantic comedy about the fact that there are no black
Yeah, you're
British
interior
female
Chinese,
characters.
interior Chinatown.
Basically.
You're pointing out like what's going on
Yes.
here, and that's great.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure it doesn't feel great when you're in Act 1 of that story.
No, but
Act
I
3
just
feels
can't
great.
wait until I'm not in this act because I've been in this act for a while, and until I point out, people don't see it. So I say stuff like, "They're like, well, why don't you just do an American accent?" And I'm like, "Because I'm a comedian, so why would I? Comedians just play themselves in movies.
Yeah.
Seth Rogen is Seth Rogen, Adam Sandler is Adam Sandler. So me putting on an American accent would be like Tiffany Haddish." In a movie being British.
Yeah.
Why? She's just gonna be Tiffany Haddish.
Right.
She's Tiffany Haddish.
That's what is that called? Ethnocentric.
Yeah.
Where we're like, but talk normal.
But talk normal. I am talking normal. And then, but I feel like it shows
we
up
should
in
intercut
whiteness.
this with me telling you how to say words properly.
Yes, please do. But I feel like we talk about this in whiteness because Rebel Wilson can be Australian in everything.
Yes.
And nobody cares.
Well, I think I'm really glad you said that because Rebel Wilson is the model. You don't
Yeah.
need this help, but I'm going like, oh, this is so easy. We're in the war room.
Yeah.
We're in the situation room, and I'm like,
Rebel
Rebel
Wilson.
Wilson
Arnold
did it.
Schwarzenegger.
Now we're just gonna push London Hughes in that same direction because when Rebel Wilson in Bridesmaids,
Yes.
with that other funny
Yes.
man,
Matt.
Matt from
Matt.
Bake Off.
Yes. Matt. What
also
is his
Paddington.
name?
I know-
I'm blocking on British people,
It's
but
okay.
Matt, he's so lovely.
You're trying to be here. I
Matt
understand.
Lucas, he's so lovely.
Matt Lucas, very, very funny.
Love Matt Lucas.
And there's Rebel.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, as like a very boring, meaning I can represent the boring, just normal, not normal, boring white audience, we go,
Yeah.
and
Who's
that's
that?
all you can do.
Yeah.
That's what you can do.
But then the thing
what
is-
percentage of it was, I mean, Rebel's so funny, but it had a lot to do with this, like, oh, here's a new flavor.
Here's a new flavor, but the flavor that was still palatable because you've seen white British people.
Yeah.
So yes, it's a new flavor,
Yeah.
but Rebel's Australian, putting on a terrible British accent in that film, and people were like, "Wow, who's that girl?" And for me to get to the who's that girl part,
Yeah.
I have to now overcome systemic white racism in a sense, because they're like, wait, you exist? Black British? Because we know white British people exist.
Right.
So seeing Rebel as a white British person, you're like, oh, this is new and interesting, but we know this exists.
Yeah.
I have to now bring my whole culture that nobody knows anything about
Including-
to America and include that
Yeah.
in my existence, because not enough Black Brits have been represented in American TV and film. So I've got to overcome that.
If I'm betting showbiz
You think I can do it?
futures, I think you can do it.
I think so too.
No, but I think it's a no-brainer.
should
I'm in the
be.
weird bar in Vegas where I'm betting on show business trends.
You betting on London Hughes?
I'm betting on London Hughes, and I'm also just the category of Black British. I'm like, that seems, I don't know, if it was as easy as this, but
Well, it's
I'm
really
already
hard.
a fan.
It's really hard because Black Brits are not allowed to tell our own stories in England anyway, because of systemic racism and because the arts industry is run by white people, and the white people that run it, they want to see themselves and they're writing their stories. And if they include Black people, which is rarely, but if they do, we're not the center, and we are often stereotypes. And so the things that get commissioned about Black Brits are often stereotypes. So the biggest Black British show right now is Top Boy. It's a show on Netflix, and it's basically like gangs, drugs in the UK.
Oh, like Attack the Block.
Yes. So right. So a white guy wrote Attack the Block, and
really?
and his representation of Black people in that he came across, or in his council estates, which is what we call the projects. It's not as bad as the projects, but they're called council estates. Attack the Block is set in a council estate, and it was a white man's idea of Black British culture. Because a Black person didn't create it. And Top Boy is also a white man. A white man wrote Top Boy, and that's a white man's idea of Black British culture. Until we're allowed to tell our own stories, they're going to tell the stories for us, and they might not be accurate all of the time. And so for me, being a Black British person in the UK trying to make it in TV, I was deemed not Black enough by white standards, because they saw white people saw Black Brits as, oh, they're in gangs, they're this, they're that. And I'm not any of those things. And then when I tried to tell my stories, white people that would commission these stories would be like, yeah, but we're not used to seeing Black people like this. We want to see Black people this way. This is what we're used to. We're used to seeing this stereotype of Black people. This is what sells. This is what we're going to make. And then you come to America and I go, hey, I'm a Black British person, tell my story. They're like, yeah, but we're used to seeing Black stories like this. We're used to seeing Black American stories. We're used to seeing Black slavery stories.
Right.
This is what we want to make. So I'm up against it. I'm still going to beat the odds, but it is a push.
Yeah.
But I know why I'm here.
Yeah, and it was a push. All the things that are normal Black stories at some point were a push.
It were a push.
as well,
There were
yeah.
people in Black America that were like, we just want to tell our stories.
Yeah.
And then now we've evolved to, we want to tell these type of stories.
That's right.
These type
And
of Black
female stories,
These
everything,
female Black stories.
everything.
These, all of these things.
Yeah.
And with me, Black British stories are not often told by Black Brits, and they're never told in America. So I'm telling Black British stories in America.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Well, we have an Oscar for you.
Oh, I can't wait. Let's give it to me. Inject it into my veins.
Sorry, it's just...
Give me
it's
my
just,
Oscar.
It's just, okay, here you are. I love that you were like, give it to me.
Thank you.
Commit to the bit.
Because it's happening.
Yeah, there you go.
I cannot wait for my Emmys and Oscars, honestly.
Well, that was my question is, remember when I said the spectrum of manifest over here and over here, it's just good old-fashioned psychology, you hit what you aim for? Where are you? Because, oh my goodness, it's almost 1. We're fine. The time has flown. We usually just talk a little bit about the meaning of life. So are you in that like spiritual way?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm deep in it.
Ooh.
Deep in it.
Ooh. In what flavor?
So I was born Christian because my grandparents were, my grandma, God Squad. I call her God Squad. Like, you know those people that are like, can quote the Bible?
Yeah.
That was my grandma. So then she raised my mum to be Christian. My mum
There's
raised
a
me to be Christian.
Prayer in Islam that goes, God, give me the faith of old ladies.
Oh, literally.
Yeah.
I can imagine. My
Yeah.
grandma's just like, let's go. God squad, Jesus, let's do this.
Yeah.
So I can tell you all of the books of the Bible in order. I can recite them. I genuinely went to, in the
Are
holiday.
you singing it, or can you just
I
say
can just
it?
say them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I went to Bible studies in school break during the summer holidays,
yeah.
all of that stuff.
Wow.
And I was a Christian, like I'm a Christian. And then I got to about 18 and I went to this church and it made me go, I don't know if I'm a Christian anymore. Literally.
In which way?
It was called Victory to Victory Church.
Oh no. What? Yes.
And it was an amazing church. It was a massive black church. And they were just taking my money. Like literally taking my money. We had to give 15% of our wages every week to the church because that was tithe. It says it in the Bible. And then we had to
but
give
I think it says-
donations.
I'm not sure if it says it. We're checking.
I know.
We're checking.
They
but
said that you
my
should
church was
tithe.
10%.
Oh, well, look at that. We had to give
wanna
15.
Know, I want to know. We have to look it up.
We have to give 15.
Does it say anywhere in the Bible that you are supposed to give 10% of your income as a tithe? We're figuring.
Yeah, figure it. Let's find out.
You're right that the idea of giving 10% of income as a tithe isn't explicitly stated as a New Testament command for
So?
Christians. The concept of tithing does come from the Old Testament, where it was part of Israelite law. Genesis 14:20, Abraham gives a tenth of his spoils to Melchizedek. Leviticus 27:30, a tithe of everything from the land belongs to the Lord.
Yeah, but that 10% thing, that is so
Right.
goofy. Like that's how we goof the Bible.
Yes.
We go, Moses gave 10% of his income to
Right.
Melchizedek.
Right.
And then
So-
we go, and then your church is like, well, 15.
Let's do 15.
Let's adjust for inflation.
Literally.
Yeah.
And on
But
top
it's
of that,
all-
we had to do donation, collection, offering, all of that.
Yeah, baloney.
And then the pastor was so rich. And
Yeah.
so like
Yeah.
he would basically benefit off of us. He would fly to Bahamas to spread the word and we'd pay for it. Like
wow.
all of these things. And I would look at it and be like, I'm not sure that I was so broke. I was working at TGI Fridays and giving all my tips to the Lord. And at one point I went, I'm sure the Lord wouldn't want me to be broke. I'm sure. And I just was like, do you know what? Maybe I need to do some rethinking of this whole Christianity thing.
Yeah.
So then I looked into Islam and I looked into Judaism. I looked into Buddhism. And I was like, okay, what I've realized is it's all the same. They're all the same. So now I know that they're all the same. What can I take from it? What do I know? And I realized that instead of God or Allah, I say the universe. But essentially the universe is me. We are the universe. We are all connected. We are the universe. I am God, essentially. And so I now know and believe that whatever I believe will happen. So if I believe in God, I will find ways that God has helped me in my life. If I believe in myself, I will find ways in that I overcome things. It's just belief. It's all about self-belief. So I'm very spiritual in the fact that I pour into myself, I pour into other human beings, and I know that we are all one and the universe connects us, and we are all just manifestations of our inner thoughts and inner beliefs. And our world is just a manifestation of our inner thoughts and inner beliefs. So, you know, I used to say to myself when I lived at my mum's house and I was in my bedroom and I had my vision board on the wall and it had America in the middle and it had all the things, it had Netflix special and it had Living in America and it had designer handbags and all these things. I sat there and I was like, this is my future. This is what I'm going to have for myself. And I had it. It's not a surprise that I had it. I believed I would have it. So I had it. If I sat there and went, I'll never get this. I'll never do any of this. I'll never achieve anything. Then I won't. That's literally it.
Yeah, you have to see it first.
You have to see it first. Now you can sway and you can be Pete and be like, oh, I might not get it and I'm a victim. But there's a core belief. The difference between me and you is there's a core belief. No, the similarities between me and you is that there's a core belief that despite all the stuff we went through, there was a core belief in both of us that we would be where we are now. And that is why we are where we are now.
I love it.
Yeah.
Dead over?
Dead over.
Do you think it's over when you die?
Oh, I don't know about that one. That's hard. Because
Well, if we're all one,
that's the thing.
and then you die, then you're saying we're not all one because an apparently separate self ended, so it's all over.
Well, I do think that the spirit, the body dies, but I don't think the energy dies. So I think that scientifically, the energy of London Hughes will still exist, but the body of London Hughes won't. Now, where that energy goes, I do not know.
Yeah.
But I have genuinely seen ghosts.
You have?
So that's another thing that I'm
Where?
like, this is in my house.
What do you mean?
In my house and on the motorway. I've seen 2 ghosts.
On the motorway?
Yeah, on the freeway.
Ghosts on the freeway.
2 ghosts.
No ghosts on the freeway.
Yeah.
Where, in a car? In a Model T driving next to you?
Yeah.
No, what?
Literally, no.
What?
Me and my cousin were driving home and sober, and I'm tired. And we were driving home at night, and we were the only people on the road, and it was like empty. And a man ran in front of us, and did this. And I was like, fuck! And then she was like, fuck! And we slammed on the brakes. Got out of the car. We hit the thing. There was no impact. There was no sound. There was nothing. She saw it, I saw it. A man ran into the road, saw us, and went like this. We both saw it. And we were like, what the fuck was that? And so that stretch of road, we decided to Google. And 5 years ago,
A guy got hit?
a guy got hit. So we assume it could be him. It could have been a man from another time. We don't know. But we both saw him. We both saw him. Stop this. We both saw him. I don't know what to tell ya. I don't know what to tell ya. And then that was the most recent ghost. And then before that, when I was younger, in my house, I lived in a 3-story Victorian style house. My bedroom was on the top floor, and I used to go to sleep with the door open because I was scared of the dark, so I could see the light from the hallway. And I would wake up and the door was always closed, and it would annoy me. I'm like 12. It would annoy me because I want the door open. So I'd tell my mom, stop closing the door because I need it open. I don't want it closed. And she would be like, I don't close the door. And I'm like, okay, Mom, sure. So then I was like, you know what? I'm going to just catch her out. Okay, I'm going to catch her. I'm going to stay up and catch her closing the door and be like, see, I told you, Mum, stop closing the door. So I waited by my bed and I stayed up and I waited and I watched the door, and around about, I guess, an hour into the wait, the door handle went down, slammed shut. And I jumped up and I opened the door and nobody was there. And I was like, Mom, and I shouted, Mom, and she didn't reply. And so I ran downstairs, down 3 flights of stairs. My mum was asleep on the sofa in the living room. There's nobody else in the house. There was no windows open in the house. And the door handle went down, slammed shut, and went back up. I have no idea how to explain that.
We both saw it.
We both saw it.
We both saw it.
And to this day, my mum will say things like, this, like, just like they're watching, they're over us, they're there, we can feel them. People, when they die, they're not always passed over. In Jamaican culture, we have a thing called Nine Night. So my mum's Jamaican. Nine Night is when they die. It takes 9 days for the spirit to like just come around and pass over to heaven. So during the 9 night, you have a party in your house every day, and family come round and you just celebrate the person because the spirit of the person will be there. And that's what they believe. And so when my grandma died, we had a 9 night so that she could come and visit all of us in her house. So we were all in her house celebrating her, and Jamaican culture believes that her spirit was there too. Because it takes 9 days.
She just keeps turning the stereo down.
So she's just like, stop. She would turn it up. My grandma was a partier.
Okay,
she was a raver. But yeah, so I don't know. I have friends that have seen ghosts. Like I have a friend, she'll call me, she'll be like, there's a woman at the end of my bed staring at me. And I'm like, babe, just be calm. She's like, I'm calm, she's friendly. And I just tell her to go. And she'll be like, you need to leave. You need to leave. And then the woman goes. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't have all the answers. I can tell you that we both saw it. That's all I'm telling you.
We both saw it.
Both saw it.
You made it weird. You made it weird. You made it weird. Oh yeah.